All right, and we are live. We are live, and we've had a pretty exciting. All right, first off, we haven't been here for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So me and my wife are going through a separation at the moment. Happens to a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of support actually, and I thought
it's a lot of people kind of sympathize with that thing at this day and age.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of guys probably feel this way, and maybe some of them are right and some of them are wrong. But I don't feel like it's really my fault. I was just here minding my own business.
And sometimes, sometimes it definitely isn't.
That's how it goes. I mean, it's pretty rare, especially in my generation, to have a single family or a single earner. So I was the singular earner, and I got us like 32 acres in Tennessee, remote job, making a pretty good chunk of money. So I think I did a pretty good job as husband. I'm ready to move on, to be honest, which is blindsided a lot of my friends. They're like, "Oh man, you should slow down and relax." I'm like, first off, I'm not like getting into the saddle completely. I just don't care.
You're easing into it.
Yeah, like I'm basically flirting and getting numbers and just hanging out.
Yeah.
I mostly just want to go bowling with people or just hang out at a happy hour.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like her leaving, I barely even noticed that she's gone.
I also
did a lot of housework.
You kind of described to me a little bit like the kind of like person she was, like very just kind of quiet and just kind of like house catty. So it's like if someone like doesn't make their presence known very well when they're around, it's a little bit easier to kind of enjoy the time without them because you're already used to them kind of like not being a parent.
Exactly. I think looking back, I realized that she was very avoidant of any conflict whatsoever, which I was hoping would ease up with age, but I don't think it did. Next time I get married, because luckily she's not even a Christian, so even the most like hardline Christian, which would be the Apostle Paul, would pretty much say I'm good to go. It's like this was a hot mess.
Well, I mean, the way you described it to me, I mean, I don't think it didn't sound to me like it was very legitimate to begin with, because it sounds to me like she made a bunch of promises that she either could not keep or never intended to keep in the first place. So I mean, that's usually a good like even the church, like that's a good reason to like give someone a dispensation. So
I was
anything wrong.
A little hoodwinked, but I don't like to stew in victimhood whatsoever. I did that for like a day or two, and I was like, sort of realized, man, you're being a bitch. Stop this. Like, don't like, oh, marriage like, no, I'm not going to give up on love. You give up on love, you might as well just end it. You might as well just give up on life, man.
I got older coworkers. They've been married like 7 times. Good on those guys for never giving up in the concept of true love.
Good. Yeah, there we go. Never give up, never surrender. I'm gonna grab my bottle really quick because I'm gonna deplete these whiskeys pretty fast, just because.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a second too. I'm gonna grab my drink, and I'll be.
All right, you go get your drink first, and then you get to vamp for me because I want to keep whoever watches this later entertained. Yes, I've not been here for a few weeks. The divorce is the reason. I don't feel that weird about it. It felt really weird for the first month after she had left, but now I'm just like, whatever. Listen, man, if you don't want to skate, then take off your skates, right? I don't even feel any ill will, really. I just kind of want this. It's mostly just being sued. That's what it feels like. Getting divorced just feels if once you get all the emotions out of the way, like mine are now, it's just I'm getting sued essentially for half of my stuff, which is not a big deal. I could afford that. I think I'd be all right. It's just the process. I feel like I'm getting audited by the IRS. It's like everything. The discovery is such a pain in the ass. I kind of want the cyberpunk future where all of my information is in some government file, because then at least it'd all be in one place. So it'd be easier to find. But I'm having to go back in like old Google emails to find gift forms that I filled out. Like my brother gave me $15,000 as a gift to buy a house. And I have to like claim that. I have to say, yes, my brother gave me this money. This is not common money. This was just for me. Like this was not a marital property. This was me helping buy a house. But it was in an email, and Google's search is terrible. So I put in gift form. It didn't find it. I put in gift letter, and then it did find it. And I'm like, if the word gift is in there or something similar to form, like freaking find it. I think Google's search engine is just completely Benign Number Station is just disconnected. It's hilarious. My gosh. Benign, get your shit together. My God. I know you got stuff going on. Damn. I'm going to make fun of you. That's all right. Device is not connected. He just pulled all the plugs. He's like, F this noise. He's like that army guy during Forrest Gump when Forrest is there. You go, you're back.
This time, I think.
You're good. It's all good. If I'm ever actually like having a problem with something, I'd send you a DM. It's funny because if I'm having fun with somebody, it's all in public and I'm doing it, and I will usually give openings to get back at me. Like but if I'm actually upset, it's like the most discreet thing ever. I'll just send you like a discreet message. I throw shit in public, and any actual problems I have, I do it in private.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I think we're good again.
We'll give it a shot, man. As
there we go.
Kevin Samuels would say on his streams, we're building as we fly, man. We're building as we, and isn't that just the way?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah, and speaking of building things as they fly, enough about me. We wanted to talk about Artemis 2 for a couple of weeks now, right?
Yes, we do. Because we're at the end of the day, we're all little boys, and little boys love outer space and rockets.
We love space. We love rockets. Functioning toilets optional. keeping your shit in a tube is pretty. That's basically like road. That is like road trip stuff. And by the way, I just had a thought. There's something I've always wanted to do as a younger man. And now that I'm older, and now that I'm kind of free from my wife, I can do crazy stuff. I've always wanted a road trip where it's just no stops. Where it's no stops, like Florida to California, no stops or something like that. And the idea is that you've rigged the thing with gasoline tanks, like you're in the Australian outback. Because that's what they do.
I think I've seen these before, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Mad Max. And I was like, that'd be so awesome to have a no stops trip. Definitely going to be crapping in a tube. Honestly, you should probably be drinking all of your calories and nutrients so that you don't have that much shit. That would be fun as hell. That'd be fun as hell.
The problem with that though is if you go to like a liquid diet, like out of necessity or like whatever, you do up the stakes whenever you decide to gamble on a fart.
Gamble on a what? Oh yes, yeah. Well,
yeah.
The shitter, yeah, hell yeah, the shitter is broken. That's what we're talking about, man. That's what we're talking about. Absolutely, the shitter's broken, which is like the best part to be broken on a spaceship. It's the one thing that's kind of optional, pretty funny, but devastating for your morale. I wonder when they open up that space capsule in the water, it's like, do it be stinking though? It's like this absolute fart can full of tired astronauts.
Somebody mentioned it was just like I don't know if we can blame the female astronaut, but I'm going to anyway.
That's right. Yes. Wasn't the first space crime by some lesbian astronaut?
I do, but if I'm remembering that story correctly, she didn't do it in space. She did it like after she got back from space.
Oh, okay.
It was like I could be wrong, but I think it was like she got into like a domestic violence episode with her like lesbian.
That's very on brand.
Yeah, I know. It's statistically correct. Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. Women be giving us men. That's why I said once the joke, like us men are pulling our punches because like you women keep punching each other way more than the men do.
Oh yeah.
It's like
women will just let it fly at other women. And I don't even necessarily mean like lesbians, just like in general, like if a woman has a problem with another woman, like the cat fighting starts like almost immediately.
Well, all right. So there's a reason. By the way, one of my theories of gender, one of my theories of the genders, the two sexes, is that all of our quirks are there for a really good reason. And this actually relates to the good reason. And I swear to God, we're going to talk about Artemis at some point, but this is really funny. Men will ignore problems, right? We ignore problems. We'll ignore the dishes in the sink, the clothes on the floor, that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, that also comes to all of her problems, all the things that could piss us off about her. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like when your husband doesn't even see the dishes in the sink, he also doesn't see any of the defects of your personality. That's what I realized that when my wife finally served me divorce papers, and it was like, oh, okay, well, not only has she left the house, abandoned the house, right? She's also serving me papers, and I'm at that moment, it was this weird mental trigger where I began finally thinking critically about her, and that made me feel so much better because I was like, oh yeah, actually, this was a pretty shitty deal. Looking back on it. For 12 years, I was like, this guy actually kind of blew, to be honest. It's like I don't miss this at all. Fuck this noise. I'm not mad or nothing, but I'm like, boy, I sure did put up with some shit.
Well, I will say I think I mean, I don't want to say the good thing because that sounds kind of shitty, but like, I
You're
think
back.
it.
I could hear you, but oh shit, I'm
Okay.
back.
Okay,
I
there
could
we go.
hear you, but I'm just gonna go grab the bottle, like I said.
Yeah, I got you. I was gonna say it, like to say like, oh, the good part, you know, because like, as if there's like a good part of divorce. I was just gonna say like, I guess like one of the only like small mercies, I guess would be a better, more correct way to put it is that at least you guys didn't have kids together, because
Correct.
divorce with children is like that. Like divorce over money, like that's bad enough, like as it is, but depending on certain factors, like it could be better
No,
than
she
you might
wasn't.
expect. But
Yeah, for her, I knew she wasn't mom material, and she knew it too. So
mhm.
it was a non-issue.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's just like thankfully you didn't have any kids in the equation because that will
oh,
bring out the vitriol.
oh yeah. So the lesbian female astronaut, did she drill holes in the station?
I don't think the one on this mission. I mean, she could be a lesbian, but I don't think it's the same. I think
No,
it's
not this
different.
mission, but the previous one where they had the lady.
Oh, okay, I
Cool.
see.
Is it true? Sorry, one second. I'm just gonna grok this one because grok is the all-knowing. Is it true that a lesbian astronaut drilled holes in the ISS? All right, we're just gonna let Greg. That's a new sentence. Put that into like, is it true that the first lesbian astronaut drilled holes in the ISS? Bagpipes going.
Rejected Schoolhouse Rock songs.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wait, there you go. Schoolhouse Grok. There we go.
But no, it's not true. It's a baseless rumor from Russian state media. Is okay. Here's what actually happened. Okay, yeah, sure. Man, that's cool. I ain't reading all that. Is not a lesbian. She's married to a lesbian astronaut. Wait, so did she drill holes in it though? There was a 2019 scandal involving a lesbian wife accused of accessing bank accounts from space. 6 was plead guilty. McLean was cleared. Yeah, so it's the astronaut that the woman the lesbian went to space to escape this this wife of hers. Is what happened. But which is kind of funny because you could also joke around that like the great explorers were just trying to escape their wives. I mean,
for some of the Italian ones, I think that it was. I think that's actually true.
Okay, actually, that's a good grok. I'm gonna grok this one. Schoolhouse grok. Did any notable explorers go off and go and explore? Oh my god, I'm stupid. Go and explore as a means of escaping their wives. I used to be good at typing. I used to be good at a lot of things. All right, let's go. Like, oh, it's really immediately marital pressures. It's a fun story, actually. Marital pressure is one of the reasons why one of my ancestors had to get out of his family compound. So all the Chinese nobles, like any notable Chinese family, lived on a compound. And this one guy, one of my ancestors, was being bullied by all the women in the compound because he didn't have his own compound. He was like, "Oh, you're living with your," it's like basically you're living in your dad's basement kind of thing. And that sent him off to far off lands. Women nagging him is like, fuck it. There's
anything,
one thing
I'll take anything compared to this.
It's like babies crying. I think it's like babies crying. When women are nagging guys, that actually gets to us, and very few things really get to us. Destroying our car, needless dulling of our knives, and our ladies nagging. It doesn't have to be your wife. It could just be any woman nagging.
Fucking up your cast iron skillet.
Mm-hmm. She's cleaning it with like lye-based soap. I heard that you can clean cast iron skillets with regular soap because it doesn't dissolve the fats like old soap used to.
You can, just don't do like don't soak it. Like if you've got like a
yes, exactly.
you just gotta scrub it till it's gone. You can't like soak. If you
scrub it, dry it. Yep.
Yeah. Even
it's
if
exactly like a
non-lye, even if it's non-lye soap, like just soaking it in that soap will still do it.
Yeah. Okay. So there are several notable, mostly male explorers whose long absences strongly suggest that exploration served, at least in part, as an escape from domestic married life or unhappy home situations. That is funny as fuck. Well, this is what I hear from the British, is they joke around that, and this is the British joking, is that their women and their food pretty much drove them off to far off lands. And I've one person who's been on this podcast before. I hate calling this a podcast. This show before, a British friend of ours. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to like single him out. He also stated that like marrying a British woman was not a good prospect. And I have heard the European stereotypes of the Brits, and argumentative is one of the stereotypes, which is my least favorite thing. I hate arguing. I hate it's useful if you're going to sit in Oxford and discuss philosophy. It's not useful when it's time to pick a restaurant to go to, or whose fault was it that someone forgot the umbrella or some bullshit.
Well, I've heard that about British women too, but it's mostly just kind of like the average like working class British man is usually a lot more chilled out than a lot of people tend to believe. Like of the stereotypes, it's usually like the more like upper crust like Britons that were like more what's the word, like neurotic, I guess, about
Yeah,
stuff.
I've heard that. Working class Brits I think are pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's like, I think that's where you get like the Andy Capp kind of like stereotype of like the guy who has just like this horrible nagging wife, but like it just doesn't seem to bother him all that much.
Oh, Andy, is that from Keeping Up Appearances?
I think so. Yeah, I think he was like an old like British like comic strip character who's just like this,
I see.
Just kind of like lousy like lousy like EastEnder who just kind of like he cares more about going to the pub.
Well, usually it's because the wife is if it's a lower class guy, the wife is trying to social climb.
Yeah.
And social climbers are always just insufferable. Tea sets, and there's a lot of things that are for the house that are such bullshit. Tea set's one of them. It's useful a lot of times. Sometimes.
Don't even get me started. My mom loaded me up with so much of that like old timey crap. It's like
I almost got my head bit off in a store because I talking to my wife, soon to be ex-wife, is like I was telling her like I wouldn't want to inherit any of this shit, and I was pointing to like a heavy walnut bed frame. I was like, because we got to move sometimes. Like imagine I have 10 boxes that say fragile, and I just hear a jingling inside, and I'm just like, oh, like this is so much liability.
I've got like a set of like drinking glasses that from like the Depression era. It was called rose glass, which was it's just like crystal, but with like a little bit of like pink pigment in it. And it was like not like rose shaped, but it's like it's like goblet style like glasses, but it's just like slightly tinted like
antique. You ever seen the uranium glass?
I have. I want some, but like it's hard to find because like it got popular.
That's rad. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but anyway, she gave me like this whole set. It's not just like the drinking goblets; it's also like the aperitif versions, the aperitif cups. And I'm like, this is for like a big dinner party, which I have people over for dinner all the time. But it's like this is like a set for like if you're having a dinner party of like 10, and I never have that many people over at like one time. And the problem is like this glass was like blown in like 1917. And I don't want it because if any piece of it gets broken, I'm gonna be devastated.
You need a full blown housewife to be caring for that sort of stuff.
Exactly,
because the wife is almost the curator of your miniature palace.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna step away for 1 second. I gotta grab one of my tools. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. Are you still able to hear me? Maybe not. He's off. Anyways, yeah. One of the things I was kind of excited for last time me and my wife had a big separation problem is for like an instant I was thinking like, oh, I could get a new wife and a family and really have all the stuff that I really wanted, and especially as I'm getting older, it's a lot of stuff that I want. And I was like, nope, she's still your wife. You made a mistake. Don't try and profit from your mistake. Don't try and like turn this into some scheme. You got to be loyal. But now that she's left,
back again.
Yeah, no worries. And now that my wife's left and I'm not in the doghouse at all, now I actually do get to have this stuff. And a little bit of me wonders if God actually was just testing me at the beginning, the first problem me and my wife had, to see like, would I try and move on, scheme, outwit God? Because the first time me and my wife had problems, that was 100% my fault. 100% my fault. And it was like, are you going to change? And I actually did manage to change. But now what gave me is like for very brief, for like 30 minutes, briefly gave me comfort. First time me and my wife had problems, I was like, well, I could have children and a family and everything, all the stuff I wanted. I was like, that's not good. You couldn't screw up, blow your marriage, and then try and already start salvaging, right? So now, though, it's happening again, but this one's not on me. And I wouldn't take her back, even if she asked.
I have to wonder. It's like, how there's like that stereotype that like back in the 50s, Well, it's not even a stereotype. I think it's more of like a myth than a stereotype. It's like it's that idea that guys would just like have like a whole other family in like the next town over.
The more people talk about something, usually the less common it was.
Yeah, but it's like my
it
whole
could have
thing
been
is like
five dudes, and it'll
that
feel an
did-
entire nation of gossip.
Exactly, but it's like my whole thing with that is like I think that if that was real and that like actually did like for real happen at points, like part of me is like, what if it's like something where it's like the relationship of like the original family had been like ruined somehow, and like the guy just felt the need to like start over. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you get what I'm saying?
I think I don't think I think I've heard the opposite. Is that usually that there was pretty good relations with the first family, and they just didn't even know about each other, right? Because if there was some kind of problem, I don't know. I think it was just the guy has that impulse. Men tend to be serial lovers. We tend to like to spread it around. So there's a instinct there. So he probably just had the means and the mindset to do it. But it didn't seem like he was having. I've never heard of them having problems. The only conflict I hear about is at the funeral when all the families find out about each other.
Yeah, I mean there is that. Of course, like another idea I had, I'm like because I was pondering about that, just kind of like to myself. I'm like, what if that's what it was? Like, what if it was like there was like some kind of like horrible like revelation that happened with like the first family, and like the guy just couldn't cope about it, and he just like he felt like the whole thing was ruined. And I was what could possibly be like so dire that you would feel the need to do that? And then I thought of another like 50 stereotype, and like it was the 50 stereotype that like, oh, like the milkman was having the affair with like the housewife or whatever, and like the guy like I don't know. Like at this point I'm just kind of like presupposing things just to like pass the time. But it's just like I did have that as like a thought is like what if like what would you do if like you lived in a time where like divorce was just like not a thing like for any circumstance whatsoever, and like one day you just find out that like your wife had an affair on you, and like your son isn't actually your son. Like how realistically would you react to that? What could you do?
You're asking me?
Well, I mean, like hypothetically, of course. I'm just saying it's like that. Like that's what I was thinking. It was like maybe that's why he had the second family. Is it's just like the first family was tainted, so he wanted to like try again.
I've never heard anything to support that. I mean, it's
Yeah, of
something to
course.
suppose, but
I'm just passing the time with like historical what ifs at this point. But
okay. Usually, okay. So first off, divorce is usually from the woman. And I have heard this rumor that a lot of it, the way divorce would happen back in the day was that the wife would just poison the husband. Like she doesn't feel like there's an escape, so she would
at
just
that
poison
point,
him.
I guess you could call that a divorce at that point.
I would say
he's
so.
Not just divorced from her; he's divorced from everything.
That's great. Yeah. So I think men are usually pretty chill. I don't think men usually have a problem with stuff.
Sure.
In fact, it's usually the opposite problem is that they have no problem with anything, including the crazy shit they have to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think that like there is like an.
I mean, you wouldn't. All right. First off, you wouldn't make another family if your family has given you that much trauma. It was like, oh man, you know that first dog I got, it bit me and it was shit all over the carpet. You know what I need? Another dog. That's what I need. It's like, nah, that doesn't happen. Usually, guys get if it's going good, the guy might be like, I could do this. I could do another one. And some guys just have that in them where they just don't get loyal. You know what I mean? They don't singularly attach themselves. I think it's more that the guy wanted to spread his seed and he had the means to do so. And
that's a good point. It could also just be like sort of like I don't know, like a blood memory, I guess, of just kind of like time, like generations gone by where like men would just do that. Like, I mean, if you look at like the like antiquity, like guys would just have like bastard sons like all over, and they'd have to do something to, because like I mean, like that's a pretty common story with like a lot of like Italy and France, like a lot of you know,
the nobles, they go on tour,
whatever. Like they were the bastard son of somebody, so they couldn't be like an heir to the direct family, but they could be like the archduke of like whatever province so and so over here, or they could be like, you know, the archbishop of parish this and that. It's just like but like that's like your life is like a bastard child is like you can have some of the good things, but you can't have like the meat of it.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that like Homath, I know, is a famous graphic showing like a column of 10 men and 10 women, and he draws it so the women all want the top guy. It's like all the men want the top women too, but the thing is, the top guy is the only one who has the means to actually get what he wants in this situation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like he's able to get well. And he's able to give the women what all the women want the 10 men, the 10 man. And the 10 man can do all of them. He doesn't give a shit.
Sure. And there was a story I saw about that.
So it sucks to be a man. Don't be a 7 or a 5 or something like that, I guess. Like that's what I'm saying is like that's how it's always been, is that the best men are always extremely rare. And another thing that kind of makes me feel better about the divorce is that like I'm not gonna have any problems in my situation. I don't know or care what she's gonna do. But
I saw that. Speaking of like you like kind of like tomcatting around. I did see you went to Nashville the other day. I wish I hadn't been with people because I was in Nashville. I think like a week before you were.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. I went to Nashville. Honestly, the women there kind of repel me a lot. Like just drunken, shitty children. They're just like.
Don't even get me started.
The music fucking rules, though. I was like, this is
time.
awesome. I did flirt with one of the singers of one of the bands. She didn't reject me, but I think she was being polite. But you never know the difference between a woman being polite it's both not a rejection and it is a rejection. She basically said, I play here all the time. Another time when you come in, sure. I just asked her if she wanted to have some drinks after her set. So, and she said she had to meet some friends. That might be a total rejection. It doesn't sound like a total rejection. It sounds like try me another day. Because women are like flowers. They bloom when they bloom, and that's it. You just can deal with it. Like everything could be aligned perfectly, and it's just she doesn't feel like it. It's just not the right time for her, and it just falls apart.
Yeah.
So that's why guys cannot fixate on one woman, because if your timing is bad and that's when you strike, she will always remember that she rejected you, and she will have the blood memory of rejecting you forever, and you're just done until she sees you with somebody else. Then you can reset the clock.
Sure. And you've always, I mean, also like a rejection from a woman, it's like you have to play it like it affected you like less than like anything that has ever affected you ever before. Because like, if you show like visible like disdain or depression at a rejection, like that's just going to make it worse.
Yes, that's why I also encourage men to. I've always done this. I've encouraged men to get rejected early and often. This is also true of business. This is the reason why businessmen also tend to be tomcats, is because the skill set is the exact same. Mm-hmm. Like you've got one guy who is chopping wood, and the next day you're asking him to chop the necks on pigs. It's like the same thing. It's the same motions. It's the same action. A little bit different, right? Sales pitch isn't quite like flirting, but it's pretty freaking close. It's actually a lot closer than you'd think. And men who lead with sex tend to sell well.
Yeah, you have to give off that kind of air that you're like a man's man if you're going to be good at sales. Because
I kind of wonder if I should go back to sales, honestly.
I mean, it's fun. Right now I'm not having one of the fun parts of it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, no. I mean, like the job is fine. It's just like we're rolling out new product, and so like that's just a headache and a half because there's so much that we have to do whenever we roll out new product. And
you got to get trained. You got to get familiar. You got to figure out the logistics.
You got to make a bunch of specification sheets for like every single model. Tomorrow we're having to give like this like presentation that's going to take like an hour and a half probably, and it's just like it's just a lot of it's not that it's bad. It's just it's a lot of work like all up front. Like if we had like spaced this out over months, it wouldn't have really mattered. Anyway, I just DM'd you like one of the things I'm working on today.
Oh, sure. I'll take a look at it here in a second. One thing I know this is like kind of private. I hope nobody minds me going on this aside here, but now that my wife is not here anymore, I no longer have someone to entertain, the jester doing this in front of the princess. I am now going to start pursuing my entrepreneurial stuff, because not only am I a pretty damn good salesman and a pretty studly flirt when I want to be. Nice gun. That's awesome. Good. Yeah, what is that?
So that's a Beretta 92 Brigadier, and what I did to it today is I bought a compensator for it.
Okay, I can't show it just yet, but
yeah. So I attached a compensator to it because that's something I like to do for all of my pistols. Is when it comes to like attaching stuff to guns, I don't really see the point in suppressing a pistol, just because whenever I shoot, I have ear protection on. 92, Beretta
92. Sorry. Oh, all right. Yeah, you got a regular ass Beretta.
Yeah. This is the Brigadier model is just like it's the one that has just like a beefed up slide.
I used to own, and I sold this one to buy some farm equipment. I used to own a 92X.
It's that one right there, the one that says Blackbeard Customs. That's the one I bought.
Column, row, which one? Where?
Second row, fourth picture.
All right, very good. Okay, this one.
Yeah, that one.
All right. Yeah, so I used to own this one here, but it wasn't optics ready, so I wanted to get rid of it. Sold it for $1,100 a few years ago. The optics ready version is now $800. I'm like, nice. Yeah. Feels good to be on the right side of a sale. I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, this gun stuff is just it's just up and down with with trends. But
it ain't an investment. Any man that says it's an investment, that's a man who's just collecting.
Yeah, I would suppress a rifle, but I would never suppress a pistol just because there's not really I don't really view there much that much point to it because I always wear ear pro when I shoot. And on my bug out kit I have ear pro on my helmet.
Well, the thing is you also want it to be noisy when you're using a pistol because you're using it for self-defense primarily.
Exactly. And so that's why I always choose to put a compensator on all of my pistols just because that just helps reduce muzzle flip so it makes it more accurate. And I'd rather be on target more times than I'm saving my hearing.
Correct. Fuck yours. The average bullet expenditure for a self-defense situation is 2, maybe 3. Mag dumps do happen, but usually people tend to, I think to their credit, be a little bit more stingy with the bullets once it starts flying. Everyone thinks they're going to mag dump. I think everyone thinks if someone messes with me, pulls a knife, I'm just going to empty the gun. But it's depending on how your adrenaline affects you, that could be the longest 2 or 3 rounds, or it's over in a minute, or it's over in an instant, and then you come to your senses and you stop. Either way, you stop shooting, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm the guy who kind of blanks out when I'm under a lot of trauma. I sort of black out a little bit. I caught 2 guys trying to steal my roommate's motorcycle once. It was funny because I was receiving feminine attention sometime at 2 a.m. and I saw the light of the carport turn on, the motion activated light. So I went to go check on it. This is very American History X of me, actually. No, I didn't. I just shouted, "Hey, assholes!" and then I sort of stammered over when I saw them. But it was over so fast. So I think you could train that out, maybe. But now I know that I'm a bit of a panicker whenever there's some sort of crazy shit going on.
Well, if you ever read the history of people who have gotten into famous gunfights throughout history, even from the Old West into the 1920s, 1950s, 1990s, it's always a lot shorter than movies make it out to be because they want to space out the action. Because I think that there was a historian watched Tombstone, and while he said that Tombstone's one of the greatest westerns ever made, the gunfight at the OK Corral was overly long by about 2 minutes because in real life it was over almost immediately.
Yeah. Well, people become much more amenable to diplomatic solutions once the bullets begin flying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the only time I feel like only the first shot is an offensive shot. Every other shot after that is defensive. And then you become reasonable and you want the shooting to stop. Everybody wants to shoot until the shooting starts. And then once the shooting starts, everyone wants us to stop.
Sure.
Which is why I have a theory. I'm not really a military theorist, but I observed from the GWAT and I observed from listening to GWAT veterans is that it seems like there's only 2 types of situations in a firefight in modernity. And modernity being marked by our technology, which means I could put bullets out there whenever I want, as fast as I want, just about. Is that there's 2 types of gunfights. There is a shit show and a turkey shoot. And which one you get depends on which side you're on. So you always want to be on turkey shoot side. That's the people who start the fight voluntarily. Shit show can be both of you sometimes. But usually if you have your mind about you, you're on the turkey shoot side. And it's a shit show for them. Shit show means you're not sure what's going on. And the awareness is actually the only difference between the 2. Sure. Awareness is the only difference between the 2.
There's a really good quote from Wyatt Earp when he was older and everyone wanted to write his biography. Someone asked him something about gunfighting. And he said that the gunfight is the hardest thing in the world to master because you have to be he said the specific quote is he said that you need to know how to take your time while you're under fire. You need to learn how to be slow in a hurry.
Yeah. Urgency, but mastery.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Absolutely. I'm glad I don't do that stuff. I'm glad I don't do that.
No, I don't envy anybody who has to like put themselves in the line of fire. That's just such like a harsh life to live, because you never know when you have to like look over one of your shoulders.
Well, also on the corollary to that, the opposite side of that is anybody who gets into that and really likes it, I think you're a degenerate weirdo, and I'm a little bit scared of you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Like mercenary type guys.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you're a fucking freak, aren't you? You're a real freak. It's like, okay, that's a lot of medals, buddy, for a lot of like combat.
I actually know a guy who
I respect it. I'm also like gonna ask your wife if she's okay.
Yeah.
And if she says good, then I'm like, well, you're just like a top tier human being. But Killing Machine and Reasonable tend to not come in the same package, but when it does, boy, is that the man's man right there.
I actually know a guy who's a mercenary. He works for I forget which one, but he works for one.
Very true.
He works for like one of the big three, and I asked him like, "What's that like?" And he said, "It's not really that special. I'm basically just a mall cop. I'm just a mall cop in countries where I probably shouldn't be for a lot more money than the average mall cop makes." And I was like,
I'll tell you one thing, man. If you're a hobby drone operator and like really good at it, I bet you're gonna get in demand real fast. Real fast.
I imagine, yeah, that's probably the next frontier, is just like PMC, like drone strike capabilities, which
I'd work for one. I don't fly drones, but I build embedded computers. So that would be probably, if I wanted to sell stuff just to make money and I don't care about the product, that's what I would do. My entrepreneurial bent, though, is I'm passionate about agriculture.
You're basically like you have like engineering background and knowledge. I mean, you could probably get a job for like Raytheon if you wanted to.
Yeah, I used to work for one of the drone companies.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I used to when I was early in my career. I actually have a patent out. If you find my real name, which is not hard to find, I tend to get loose with it. Cosma shoots my last name out there all the time. So if someone wants to dox me, they can. However, I try not to make it too easy. But you could find a patent. I have a patent for a replacement for what's called the Raven. Let me look that up really quick. And Raven drone. I don't even know if they still make this piece of shit. This right here. This is a piece of shit.
Oh, that thing. Okay, I know that. I think they use that for like reconnaissance stuff now.
It's ass. I had one that fired from your end of your rifle. It's based on the rifle grenade. You ever seen one of these? It was in old Day of Defeat, which is this is like a
the ones that like mount from the front instead of like going into like the tube. Okay.
Yeah, I actually used Army. I had to justify this to the company that I worked for, but I used the Army field manuals for recoil, because this could be a lot of recoil, right? But I used the Army field manuals for recoil because they have standards on how much energy can you shoot from your shoulder, from crouched, and from prone per day. So it's like a 5.56, you could shoot 10,000 plus per day, and that's on purpose, right? That's what a 5.56 is for. You're supposed to be able to shoot a lot of it.
Seeing that mounted on a SCAR is so funny.
Where's that?
Oh, in the picture you've got like the first picture, yeah, like a SCAR L.
Yeah.
Like, that's so funny.
Well, this is what the FAL. This is the only thing the FAL and a lot of European guns can do, because they can't attach an underslung grenade launcher. Which underslung grenade launcher is the best way to get ordnance downrange, in my opinion. This is kind of funky. I mean, it works, but it's funky as fuck.
So great.
It's World War I is when it was invented. Anyways, I was going to use the same thing, but just replace the grenade with a drone.
I'd do the same thing, but replace the grenade with just like a boxing glove.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly. There's another couple of like funky ones out there where they try to build some big stupid thing in front of it, but my patent is better. But military contractors don't actually want to make the war better unless they're in a real war, and the GWOT was not a real war. So my real patent for a real device that was really useful did not get pursued, and I sat and jerked off in a corner for a while. So it's like, whatever, fuck it. And then I eventually left to go become a Linux admin. So there it is. I would love to get back in the war theater. Like, I already dress enough to work for Palmer Luckey. Like, fuck it, I'll go work for Palmer. I would work for Palmer Luckey. That's who I'd like to work for.
He seems like
Fuck
he's
Raytheon.
right. He seems like he's
yeah,
right.
he's got his head on his shoulders right. He's an industrialist, and homeschooled. I love homeschoolers.
It's like when it comes to like tech billionaire, like it's a fine line between like I think you're pretty cool to I hate your fucking guts.
The tech billionaires are coming all sorts of stripes. That's the real diversity of thought occurs with the tech billionaires, and it's only been a pretty recent thing where their thoughts are all being put to leftist stuff, and then now the leftists are breaking and Silicon Valley is kind of falling apart, and now it's just free for all of thought,
right?
Because Palmer Luckey got kind of fucked over by the industry for a while.
Oh sure,
and now he's but the thing is, once one breaks, like once one sheep starts chewing on some grass, all the other sheep come along. Right, that's how it goes. So he's got the grass now.
Yeah, exactly.
The green fields.
But I was gonna say,
sure,
like,
take your time.
For the example of like what I'm talking about is like for the longest time, like Elon just kind of like he got on my last nerve, and I was like, look, buddy, like you need to unfuck yourself.
Every human being on Earth, by the way, and this is, I believe in this, every human being on Earth has something about them that is a deal breaker. And the part of your growth as a human being is you don't let the deal breaker break the deal.
Yeah. But
everyone's got something about them that like pisses you off to no end.
Well, he's got more than one, unfortunately. That's the problem with it. That's the problem with like Elon is he's got more than one. However, for me, the way I judge people is like it's not. I don't judge people on black or white, all or nothing. It's a ledger, and you need to be more in the black than you're in the red if I'm gonna keep you around.
Oh, he's retarded in a lot of ways.
He got himself back into the black by introducing that auto translate feature into Twitter because opening up friendship with like the Japanese has helped my mental health like immensely.
Oh yeah, the Japanese are great. I mean,
it's so great. It's awesome.
Yeah, the Japanese are culturally the most compatible with the United States because they are respectful but frank, and they apply that to everything. And they are jubilant. They're always got spirit behind whatever they put out. Right? It's all ganbate. It's all like, let's go. You know, your barbecue's awesome. I love it. Your barbecue sucks. I hate it. This is cheese violence.
You know I love cheese violence is my favorite.
Yeah. I'm gonna look that. Cheese violence. That should be just a Japanese. That should just be a Japanese restaurant. Honestly, that'd be so fun. Just cheese. Like what I would love to see is a restaurant that's actually Japanese themed, but it's about American food. You know what I'm saying? It's like going to a restaurant that is a parody of America. What the fuck did I just on my X homepage?
They have that. Google Okinawa A&W restaurant.
Okinawa that's the I've heard of that one. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Dang. Goddamn search engines are garbage shit.
Fuck. Okay, wait, hell, the Reddit one.
We gotta go to Reddit now.
Okay. Yeah, they've got a 1950s diner that's arguably better and nicer than any actual 1950s diner that ever existed.
Yep. That's what I want to see. I want to see other cultures doing renditions. I saw one earlier of Vance, Bangladesh. Where is it? There's JD Vance, Bangladesh. Oh, you know what? I think I replied to it. Let me go into my replies. Oh my God, fucking X, get your shit together. Fuck off. Moving my shit while I'm moving. All right, no replies. There we go. Good Lord. I'm gonna like my own post like a real degenerate. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, some Bangladeshi restaurant because he went to visit. It's got a fat JD Vance on it. This is fucking No one's gonna know what the fuck this guy looked like.
I need to find it, but there was an edit that someone made that was really funny where it's like what if there was a politician from every ethnicity that was just Donald Trump?
Oh yeah, I remember that one. I remember that one.
Yeah, but someone just did one of those
good.
for JD Vance, but it was like JD like Von Singh or something like that, and he was just like he was like an Indian, but it's just like he looked almost the same.
Yeah, that's how it goes. It's like there's a Chinese dude that looks just like Elon Musk. Sometimes you get that weird crossover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, someone doxed Howling Mutant, by the way.
Yeah, I did see that, and it's it's like him getting doxed is bad enough, but I can't believe that's embarrassing. But I can't believe he got caught using Goodreads. Like that's
Goodreads.
That's even more embarrassing.
It's too funny. It's way too funny. Oh my god, I forgot what I was going to even look up here. I think it was the Bangladesh thing. I found it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that video that's sending me.
Just complete brain. Well, it's an AI of Alex Jones walking towards you.
Well, there's like a running joke on like social media that it's like a guy who's actually really handsome will pick like a very ugly profile picture, and a guy who's like actually like uglier than sin will make like a very handsome profile picture.
Yeah. Howling Merchant.
Yeah, and like the thing that said like the thing with Howling Mutant, if like that's actually his face, like the one post I saw, like if that's actually him, it's like granted I know he's got a picture of like Dennis Hopper from some movie, but it's like even still like he's way better looking than Dennis Hopper. So it's like
I saw him. He looks pretty good. He's a good guy looking guy.
It looks like a handsome young guy. I say young, he might be like 30 at this point, but
I mean, that's yeah. That's
pretty
young.
He is our
30s.
I was gonna say he is our greatest national humorist. Like he's our greatest living humorist. Like just like the things he tweets out.
The proper humorist has no dignity.
Oh, absolutely not. He did a really good one that it was sending me yesterday. It was like a meme of like a couple of like Wojaks, and one said like it was like the crying the crying Chudjak. It said please don't rape me, and then like there's like an angry Chudjak behind it. It's like I am the rapist, and Howling Mutant was just like this might seem antithetical and confusing to some of you, but I'm both of these at the same time.
Yeah, it's like which one are you? You know,
I'm both. Sometimes I'm both.
Speaking of exploration, SpaceX is absolutely killing it.
Yes, SpaceX, and
which is just like Pareto distribution right here. This is what you're seeing is Pareto distribution. 80% of the mass sent to orbit in 2025 year to date, which I guess is just 2025 then. 80% is from one company, SpaceX, which is fantastic. I feel like that's what I'm saying is like when one sheep goes and eats the green grass, the other sheep see it, right? So it's okay. It makes sense. I'm not a libertarian, okay? So it makes sense to me the government would get it started with the space program, but then commercial stuff should start following, and that's like the subsequent sheep that go and begin grazing. Is that the first person to land on a comet is going to be a government-backed, non-profit motive exploration thing. The next every one of them is going to be commercial, right? Like harvesting asteroids, harvesting. Whoever gets into space is going to make the wealth of Earth look like shit. It's gonna Earth is going to look like a third world country compared to like the space. Could you imagine if there's just robots building gigantic cathedrals that are in 3 dimensions in space? You then like fly your space. Yeah, you fly your magnetized space.
We're gonna put a church on Halley's Comet. And you can go to. You're gonna be able to space travel to Halley's Comet to have Easter.
Yeah, I mean, have your ashes put into an urn and then placed on the shrine of Halley's Comet.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool ass shit to be doing.
So that's like we talked a little bit about it before we like said we were going to do this episode, but I was actually I was just kind of like mulling that over the other day that I think that things are in such a bad state of affairs as they are with like geopolitics. It's because there's nowhere left to go. Like all the ranges have been fenced in, and humanity was always at its best when there was one last frontier to go chase after, to go explore, to send the boats out and like see what we can find. And unfortunately, like it's like I'm sure humanity really thought that was going to happen with like the moon landing, like moonshot back in 1969. I'm sure everyone thought that was going to happen, and then NASA was just overly limited by the abilities of their time, and so it just kept getting
they
put
really
on the back
pushed it
burner.
to the limit. They
Yeah,
pushed
it's
it.
like it kept getting put on the back burner, and then some more, and then some more, and then before you know it, the soup's not even on the stove anymore. And it's just kind of, I think that really depressed a lot of people because it was a big moment of optimism that just kind of went wasted. And I think that's why Challenger hit as bad as it did, is because Challenger, it was meant to test the new technology, and we had like some Russian astronauts on there, and so like we were rebuilding the camaraderie between nations, and then the thing just blew up. And I think that just hurt a lot of people.
And here's the thing: what a disaster will do. A disaster is always two messages, right? And how the message lands is what determines which message it is, right? Like, so a disaster could mean two things. First off, we're working hard, we're going to do better, right? Mm-hmm. Like Elon Musk has said that people are going to die on the way to Mars. That's just how it's going to be,
of course,
right? So when you say like when Challenger explodes, the public either says let's keep going or let's pull back. And what America did was said let's pull back.
And I think that's because the like that was what, 89, 88, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And like that's when like the cynicism of the age, because like that's what they always say about the 90s, is the 90s were like the cynical decade.
That's
when the cynicism was kind of forming, and
when Gen X was kind of forming the culture, right? You'll see that.
You were just like at a crossroads where it's like we can keep going. We can like honor the sacrifice and keep going, and eventually these people will be viewed as heroes, or we can just stop out of respect for their memory. And unfortunately, I think the cynicism of the age kind of was like, let's just scale it back. We can go to our little international space station, but let's stop it there. And then like before you know, it's like we weren't even funding NASA anymore. And I think that's wrong, because space ultimately is the future. Like it's always going to be because even if you don't believe in like hippy dippy like ecological stuff, eventually the world is just going to become too fenced in to sustain itself, and we're going to have to go somewhere.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the exploration, and what I mentioned is the exploration and the downsides of it can be reflective of how your culture is receptive to it. How your culture is receptive to things, though, is how it's packaged. Blowing up on live television is pretty demoralizing.
Pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. You probably shouldn't do that unless you're pretty certain. However, that's just the standard of things now. So everything's going to be live stream, and that's just how it is. However, you priming is a thing that you do have control over. So priming the audience that stuff's going to blow up. You can do that, and Elon has done that. And the thing is, you'll see the difference between, let's take another example from current events, is the Iran war, the Iran operation.
Yeah.
You got people who are catastrophizing over 13 dead service members. And you got people who are just saying like, well, that's just the price of
which war. They weren't even in the way is my problem. It's like they were
they were just normal deaths, I think.
Well, no, it was like they were stationed in border areas where Iran was just flinging missiles indiscriminately, which, you and I both agree, we both agreed that Count Dankula, he's kind of used up a lot of his goodwill, and he's kind of on his way out.
Yeah, I'm done with that. Luke.
He did have a pretty good zinger where it's when Iran was just launching missiles in every direction indiscriminately to show that they still had power in the region. He said that Iran right now is that drunk guy who's getting asked to leave at the party, and he thinks that if he punches enough holes in the drywall, people will let him stay.
Right? Yeah.
Which I thought that was pretty funny, honestly. But
he's a humorist. He's gonna do that.
But that's the thing. It's the people who died or got hurt. It's they weren't even part of what was going on. It's just they were caught up in collateral damage.
They should incite anger in the Americans, not incite fear, right? And the Panicans are trying to make fear out of what should be anger.
Well, and it's the idea that they think that.
Dankula is a libertarian. Libertarians, by the way, anyone who is a slave to an ideology, is someone who is going to have to be excised from your movement.
It goes beyond being a libertarian. He's not even a libertarian. He's
anti-American. He's anti-American.
Yeah, he's like anti like West because he's got this weird like one, he started like Zog posting too much. Two,
right, yeah. A lot of Europeans were falling to that.
He started like he got into like the dark side of like trad religion shopping, where he decided to go like trad LARP Orthodox, which I mean, if you're like an actual regular Orthodox person, no offense, it's just like, but like the trad Orthodox guys, just like the trad cast and like the trad prot guys.
It's trying too hard. It's trying to find legit. Like being a Christian is not supposed to be a thing that you legitimate. You're actually supposed to be seen, according to I think it's John 15:19. The world is supposed to look upon you as a fool. The Christian is supposed to be the idiot who is like always comes through, which is kind of Donald Trump, to be honest. Like he's like, this seems like a complete idiot. The fool who comes through.
It goes beyond that. It's just like you shouldn't be using religion to enrich yourself or your persona. And a lot of those guys kind of do that, and I don't like it. But it's like he started really cozying up to Russia a little too much as part of his Orthodox trad LARP.
The Duganist. I talk with a intellectual in England who's from Greece quite a bit. But like what's happening is the sort of people who follow Duganism, which is multipolarism, think that Russia is kind of the force that's going to bring Europe back to tradition.
Well,
and they're essentially hoping for they're hoping for a utopia where
there's not going to be there's not going to be a return. And the problem is like you need to actually know your history, because if you want to quote unquote return, like you need to understand that the past times are actually worse than they are now. And
not only are they worse, but you cannot actually reverse stuff.
Yeah, and like that's like the thing is like a lot of like the Tradcap guys that I kind of get off the bus with them is they try to talk about like return to tradition. I was like, well, you have to remember like in antiquity in like Italy, like there was like a lot of like there was a lot of corruption that happened as a repose of like just kind of like unchecked nationalism and unchecked like religiosity that was tied to the nationalism.
Right. Like one of the things I believe in is that you're not supposed to tie yourself to your charity, because that is that perverts the incentives like insanely.
Yeah. But anyway, we're getting off topic. But anyway, that's the problem with Dankula is just like he doesn't really stand for anything. He wants to look good, and he wants to cultivate an image. And the image that he's trying to cultivate is that America is he's become basically like an Islamist almost. Like America is the great Satan. They're they're our problem. They cause all of our trouble. And is they're the Zionist occupied government, and like blah 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 blah.
Well, a lot of the hosts of the Lotus Eaters have become like of that opinion too, and it's just,
and like that's my problem is like I don't like I kind of like Carl. I don't really watch too much of the Lotus Eaters, but I know Carl. When I was like I was a young man when like Sargon of Akkad was like a big name in like the Gamergate space.
Remember what I said earlier about artists, though? That some podcasters and personalities are artists.
Yeah,
you do have to eventually You do have to eventually just like punch them in the face and blow them away.
I do genuinely believe that Carl is smart enough to know better, and so it's like I know he can see through the bullshit that like we're not a Zionist occupied government, but it's very frustrating because like I mean with Dankula, I know that Dankula like he's just a good old boy from like I think he's from Glasgow.
He's not. Yeah, he's not. He's a peasant.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a bit harsh, but it's like he's just
he's a fucking peasant. He's there to fix your. He should be fixing your plumbing.
He's a knockaround guy. I know he reads a lot. Like it's like I know he like keeps up on like some stuff. But like Carl,
reading. By the way, the most overrated intellectual activity of all time is reading. You're just consuming. You might as well be listening to podcasts. When someone says like I read a book, to me it's like I listened to a bunch of podcasts. I was like, well, what book did you read? How did you engage with it? Also, reading I think is a very feminine activity because of one simple thing is that you cannot. Masculinity requires that you contend with the author. You have to fight them. It's actually better if you read a book and then you're also like arguing on Twitter with them. That makes sense. But the problem is reading is always one way. So if you read a bunch of bullshit, you're going to get a bunch of bullshit. Do you really trust the author? So when someone says like, oh, I read a lot of books, it's like, if you're reading Evola, you're a fucking retard. I don't understand. Like you're going to become retarded. You're going to pump your brain with so much bullshit from one side of the aisle. Not that, and the thing is, I don't care which side. The aisle is multidimensional. The aisle is n-dimensional. All right. So what I'm saying is that you're getting something from some certain angle and perspective and agenda, and you won't even be able to think anymore. Which is why people who don't even engage in the news tend to be more reasonable than people who, unless you monitor the entire situation while also maintaining a Jedi level of non-attachment, which is insanely hard to do. I manage it because it's a game to me. I'm very detached. But like, you will be there are so many high IQ routes to being a moron that like reading a lot of books is actually one of the fastest routes to becoming an idiot.
Sure. And there's a guy that I'm mutuals with on Twitter, and he made a really good tweet earlier where it's like, he's like, honestly, if I wanted to make $1 million off of Twitter engagements, all I need to do is change my profile picture to a black and white photograph of like an ancient Roman statue, and then I can say literally whatever I want, no matter how false or made up it is.
You can spin fantastical utopian bullshit about returning and
but
like post Aurelius quotes once in a while.
Well, no, but what he said was like, I can post any lie I want, but what I have to do first is I have to, in all caps, I have to write breaking, and then I can just say whatever I want, and people will think it's like actually true. And I was like, that's real. Like there are accounts that's all they do is they'll just be like breaking. You know, the president.
A lot of South Asians have figured that out, and they have their accounts doing that. Which is another thing that Elon did that was good. Maybe Nikita Beer should get the credit for it, but it's creating the region thing where it's you see what region they're from.
The region show.
The auto translate and the region has been great.
Mm-hmm. If he could just do the hat trick by giving us the bot purge, then Twitter might actually be worth something again.
I know, right? Like. Twitter's kind of garbage. Yeah, I mean it's kind of garbage.
It's better now. I mean, like the region thing made things easier. The like getting to talk to the Japanese people was great because you can filter out languages now too. Like you can't filter out regions, but you can filter out language. I just saw that. Yeah, there's a break.
Yeah. Breaking news. Breaking my dick off, and Nick Fuentes is. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That guy is such. By the way, he's fallen off so much. He's like 30 years old too, which is getting sad.
Yeah. Well, it's even sadder because like he doesn't even look 30. So he's like he's gonna have that like bad problem that like certain
child actors.
Yeah, it's like he's gonna look youthful and then he's gonna turn like 40 and he's gonna look like a bad stretch of road with like. You know, like all the crow's feet and everything. I
gotta show you this. I put in child actors and like put images, and Brave is like, "Nah, brother." I was like, "What are you doing?"
No, you don't want this smoke.
Oh my gosh! All right, fine. Pick any. I just want to see what the thing is. All right, Macaulay Culkin is a good example.
I think he's been doing a little bit better.
No, but like in terms of his looks, like when you pick a child actor, the problem is like being a child who is good for movies does not make.
Here's a good one. Type in Corey Feldman like before.
Oh yeah, all right. Let's check Corey Feldman. Yeah, exactly. It was like perpetual baby face forever in eternity.
Yeah,
here's who he was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So show me a picture of him like today. Like I want to see like because he looks pretty rough. Okay. Well,
he looks like
he's got some plastic surgery. Honestly.
Yeah, he looks a bit. He kind of looks like a lady.
A little bit.
Even the facial stuff. He kind of looks like a Native American woman, actually.
Or like the guy who played John Connor in Terminator 2. Like unfortunately, was it Edward Furlong? I think was his name.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
Unfortunately, he kind of he just kind of got like messed up because I think I'm remembering correctly. I think he had like a drug problem in like the 90s, which I mean, like,
yeah, that's the problem. Is like, so Nick Fuentes has. Oh Jesus Christ! Yeah. Nick Fuentes has that thing where it's going to have a baby face forever, but the problem is the baby face doesn't age well.
Yeah, he's gonna look like that when he's like 40-some years old.
I could ask Grok to age up Nick Fuentes.
That would be somebody already did it. Someone made it where it's like he's like fat and he's got like the Mexican dad mustache. And like, cause like that's the joke that he's Mexican, so he's just gonna look like
Lord,
look like like Tio Jose when he's like 40.
Like Lord, please forgive my search history. Oh my God! I need to age this man up.
He's just such a prick.
Well, he's losing it. The thing is, if you're not, you have to be really interesting genuinely interesting if you're going to stay for a while. Like, and how interesting you are depends on the times. So what happens is you're surfing. Alex Jones is a surfer. He surfs current events. And once current events start working against you, or you pick the wrong, or you don't surf well, it's over. It's over. Right. So I think Nick Fuentes was probably the most relevant a few years ago, but yeah, not so much relevant now. Especially once people found out that his political rallies don't get any real attendance.
Well, the only
cope
that people who like him had left is like, well, look, you might not like what he has to say, but at least he's consistent on what he says. But that's probably
people used to say that he never lies. I was like, well, he obviously fucking lies. He's
everybody who's in the public eye lies about something, but no, it's just like you might not like what he has to say, but at least he's consistent. But like the last couple months, he's not consistent. Like he's tried to walk back his walk back his anti-Semitism. He's tried to walk back like what he said about like I'm trying to remember like what was the other like big controversy where he said something.
Well, he endorsed Kamala Harris.
Well, I mean that was like years ago, but it's just like he's
years ago. It was the last election cycle. It was like 2 years ago.
Well, 2 years ago. Okay. Well, yes, but like it feels
that's really fucking pertinent. That was the most recent presidential election.
Well, he does it every time. Like he was never. He was never on the Trump train fully. And he
paid lip service.
He changes what he thinks if he thinks it's gonna get him somewhere. And
he's just a grifter. That's what we call a grifter, man. It's like
he's actually a grifter. Like a lot of people use that word, but like he actually is one, like for real.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in anything. He doesn't really act on anything. It's just complete bullshit. Yeah. So which is the thing is people like that can be outrageous. So his relevance comes from being outrageous.
Yeah.
Causing problems. Johnny Somali does this. Johnny Somali only has a following because he causes problems.
And now he's in jail.
A lot of online, and the thing is, it crashes and burns eventually.
Yeah, now he's on the South Korean chain gang.
Yeah, exactly. Like the way that a lot of right wingers have had relevancy is through proper journalism. And as soon as they try to deviate from that, they fall to shit. James O'Keefe, I don't really trust anymore. He's just picking some random people that don't know anything and saying like, look, employee of the Department of Defense admits that they're doing this. It's like, this guy is like nobody at the Department of Defense. He doesn't know anything.
Right.
How could you possibly say he's doing? So it's just outrageous tabloid bullshit. All right. So he's off. He's fallen off. Proper journalism has been deviated from. Elijah Schaffer got famous for being on the riot squad, right? Like going around and documenting it. So he got his fame from being a proper journalist, documenting the riots of the BLM, like quote unquote Summer of Love.
Yeah, another one like this isn't really like a obvious one, but I forget his name. But there was a guy who he was like famous for being like one of the leaders of like the Boogaloo Boys. Who that was supposed to be like the alternative to the counterattack to like Antifa, but then it found it got like released that he was actually like a federal asset, and he was like informing on all of the all the Boogaloo
exactly.
FBI. And he tried to spin it like no I didn't do that, like they got too extreme. Like
that's how it always is, man. It's how it always goes. Like first off, anybody that advocates violence, you're a third worlder. And third worlders are CIA assets. That's how it goes. Intelligence assets. Maybe not CIA, maybe NSA, maybe FBI.
Well, yeah, anyone who's like spewing that, like seriously spewing that shit of we need to rise up. The time is now. Like they're not representing us. We have to strike back. We have to be the Minutemen. It's like those guys aren't looking out for you because that's not. They're not. That's not going to go the way you think.
We're so far away from a violent society. It's not even funny. Like we're so far away from it. Your vote actually matters. Like we got Trump in a second time in a non-consecutive term. That's crazy. That's crazy as shit. After he almost got assassinated. That's nuts. Everything's working against you, but the vote is what's been pretty much saving us. So also anybody that says like your vote doesn't matter, all this demoralization stuff is total bullshit. And I have to sorry to say the European and UK right is full of these assholes. And I think that includes Dankula. I'm going to look that up really quick.
Well, I mean, he's just like he's got a bunch of problems. Like he's just
Well,
not and that's another problem with a lot of these people is like they got famous in like 2016 when like the PC culture was like the dominant one, and they're like, I'm gonna say whatever I want. I'm gonna make an edgy, spicy joke. I'm gonna say,
oh yeah.
I'm gonna say the N word, and it's like that became like their brand. But the problem is after like the problem with like that cultural revolution that was waged in like 2016 with Trump is we kind of won. Like it didn't fix everything, but we created a separate bubble where as long as you like as long as you like kind of like stayed together with like your side of the tribe, you could get away with a lot of stuff without like too much like controversy. But the problem with that is like the culture moved past that. It evolved. Like we've gone past where that was, and a lot of these guys are trying to maintain relevance by still being that edgy guy, that edgy guy who says spicy stuff. And it's like we're kind of past that, man. Like the zeitgeist has moved on, and you're not moving on with it.
Here's a problem. Another one. Like, this is the reason why you have to sometimes like just dispose of your previous heroes. You always have to purge revolutionaries in your movement at all times. They just have an expiration date. It is what it is. The veracity that you required to gain any sort of traction on the right 5 years ago is way lower than it is right now. Right now, my standard is Victor Davis Hanson is proper, right? Victor Davis Hanson, he's great.
I've seen a few of his
follow him religiously. He puts out a daily show. He's actually really good. He does a great job of analysis, summarizes it. He's got a good enough grip on history to contextualize what's going on. And he's not he's not falling for bullshit. He consider him a somewhat less Cernovich-pilled Scott Adams. Imagine if Scott Adams just didn't listen to Twitter. Yeah. That would be Victor Davis Hanson. Like, this guy's a proper clear thinker, and we
need less sensationalism because
he's a proper. He's pretty much on the verge of death. Victor Davis Hanson. He's probably got like a few more years at most.
I think people have realized that like sensationalism is like it's dumb and it doesn't help anything.
No, it's not. Yeah,
all it does is make you angry. And
during the revolution, it's useful, but after you have power, it's not.
Even during small states of like unrest, like it's not good because it makes you angry, and when you're angry, you're not thinking right. Like you're not thinking clearly. You're thinking angry. You're not thinking smart.
Right.
And so it's people need to start having like the truth. Like that's what they need. Is like they need the truth. And sometimes like the truth agrees with your presuppositions. Sometimes it doesn't. But like people need the truth. They don't need rage baiting. They don't need sensationalism because all that does is just make you mad. And when you're mad, you're not thinking clearly.
Well, but yeah, exactly. Well, unfortunately, anger is also very powerful politically.
It is.
And people do stoke it up, and our leaders will allow it for a time, but the time is no longer now. Like the Dave Smiths, the Alex Jones, the Tucker Carlsons, all these people who have turned. Their outrage is now because they must be outraged. This is the podcast people. Your podcast to stand.
The podcast class.
They must be, the commentariat class must always be outraged. They must always be anachronistic. And as soon as you're in power, you pretty much have to turn around and blow them away as fast as possible.
Because they can't, like they're like barnacles on a ship. Like they might attach to one ship for a while, but they can't stay on the same ship the whole time, or else they're going to get scraped off. So they have to migrate, and like that's like the whole thing is like that's why you saw like the Theo Vaughns and the what's his name, Andrew Santino, and like those guys who had like Trump on and like they were laughing and joking and like just kind of like like rib pulling with Trump, and like now it's like I don't know, guys. I think he's. I think he's gone too far. Like, he didn't give me everything he promised me on the campaign trail. So I think he betrayed me. I don't know. I feel like I've been hoodwinked. I've been bamboozled. I was like, you know what you were doing, and you're just hoping that like if big asterisk if the Republicans don't like sweep in the next election, you'll still be allowed to be allowed to like stick around by like the next ruling group of like popular popular kind of like vote
Well,
nationalism, and you're not. Like that's the problem. It's like you engaged with like the great Satan that is Donald Trump. So now they're never going to leave you alone if they get power. They're gonna, and if they do, they're gonna make you go on some kind of like pathetic humiliation tour so that you like get back in their good graces, which they're never going to let you have.
yeah. As soon as they're no longer useful, like the left will court you while you can peel off people from the MAGA movement, but as soon as you've outlived your usefulness, they'll just bring that stuff back up and destroy you. The MAGA movement is powerful if it can just destroy these artists as soon as they turn. This is why I'm also against personal loyalty. There was a lot of people that hated my guts because I was calling out Tucker Carlson very early on in his turn. A lot of people didn't like the fact because Tucker was seen as the guy who was like the American ethnos, like the American Heritage American stuff. Heritage American, by the way, has disappeared from the vernacular. I've not heard that in a while.
The argument wasn't strong enough.
It was all it does was rile the worst people.
It only appealed to a very specific like subset of people.
Yeah, when Jack Posobiec, the pretender to be Catholic, which is I don't think he really is in heart. Like, by the way, people say like, oh, you can't read somebody's heart. It's really easy to read someone's heart because they'll wear the stuff on their sleeve. They'll very quickly tell you what's on their heart. That's always a smokescreen. Our hearts are so foreign to us, we don't even understand ourselves, and we tend to be ashamed of what's on our hearts.
Yeah, I was going to say
we're not ready to share it.
You can you can betray your beliefs and you can do the wrong thing, but there's usually a feeling of guilt and like just kind of like personal humiliation that comes with it if you know that you have done what's wrong and like you're in your heart, and the people who will like lie about what they have done, or the people who just won't care and think that they can just get away from it if they do this and that, like those are the people like, yeah, you can read their heart because they have no shame, they have no conscience, like, and it's very obvious that they don't.
So Jack was pushing this thing of like, well, what degree of Heritage American are you? Are you founding stock? Are you this? Are you this? I was like, fuck you. First off,
well, it's the guy who would like constantly just just kind of like vague post about like how things aren't going the way they need to go, and like we've been betrayed, and like they'd like have like Bill the Butcher as like their
exactly,
and it's like whatever, dude, like if you want your Indian class system, like take it somewhere else. We don't need this.
Correct. America is made by the Americans who were there. That's just how it is. It's like if you can't repel them, we have a system right now where people can actually make a political change.
Yeah.
If you want the contemporary Americans are actually doing a pretty good job of repelling foreign invaders at the moment, right?
Yeah.
The mix of old and new. So, yeah, all right. So if you've ever joined an organization, take any organization that's old, right? Multi-generational. It could be the Freemasons. It could be the Rotary Club.
Elks
it could
Lodge.
Elks, anybody, right? The first members have a massive effect. So when people say that America is very like Protestant English, like WASPs, like white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, that's because that's the first people that made the council.
Yeah.
People start rotating in and out, though, over time.
Sure.
But the first people are incredibly influential in the direction, and they determine integration.
Yeah.
And integration, the first I don't. By the way, I'm an engineer, so I tend to put things in terms of engineering. When you're building a filter, like an electronic filter, let's say it's for an amplifier, like you're building a guitar amp. Your very first filter is called a low noise amplifier. Its job is to amplify very little. It doesn't do a lot. But it's high fidelity. It's extremely high fidelity because any noise, which is corruption, noise or corruption that is introduced in the first stage cascades, right? So what's happening in America is that the very first stages of America were very high fidelity, which gave us the chance. It's not that we need to return to high fidelity necessarily, right? the later stages of the amplifier can go kind of chaotic and nuts a little bit. What I'm saying is that I'm not trying to prescribe the way that we should be. I'm just being grateful for what has been.
Sure.
That the first stages of America were very high resolution. We wrote documents. We had private correspondence of our disagreements. The Federalist Papers. We had properly reviewed, voted upon, and aligned founding documents. If I read the Declaration of Independence right now, it all is still true.
Yeah, and that's like the whole thing of like the founding fathers. It was like e pluribus unum of many one, and a lot of people were like, oh, that just means like the different colonies. Like, no, it was everything about their society, because you have to remember that it wasn't one group of Protestants that landed on Pride Rock and that's all that was here. It was different groups of Protestants, different groups of Christians who all came here from different places, and they all had different ways, but they kind of agreed to coexist. And then eventually, when a fight was bore against all of them, they were able to link arms and say, we are in this together. And that's the problem with heritage American crap, is it doesn't really matter where you come from. It's, you have to want to be part of like what we are, and you have to want to sacrifice something to be a part of it. And
must return to Apu.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like I would be fine with an Indian guy wanting to be American as long as he was willing to like actually be part of our society and work hard to fit within it, and like maybe sacrifice something for it if it was asked of him. But like that's the problem, is like we're not there right now. It's like, a lot of people tried to talk about Catholics have never belonged in this country. It's like, well, that's not true, because they were the founders of Maryland. And one of Ian Carroll of Carrollton was one of the founding fathers, and he was a Catholic. His brother was the envoy to France with Benjamin Franklin, and like that's the thing. But it's like that didn't matter, because there was a common understanding that we were all of something else. And I mean, it also helped that like all the Protestants who came here and all the Catholics who came here had one thing in common, that was they were being put upon by the Anglican Church, but that's beside the point.
Well, they're being put upon by the tyrants of Europe.
Yeah, it's like, but they had something in common, even though they were different, and they were able to turn that into something. And so that's why, like, a lot of the bluster posting, like sometimes it's funny, like it's really funny. Like, I really like that one picture someone made where it's Bill the Butcher, but he's got like a plate carrier and like a helmet with nods on. I got that. I think that picture's hilarious.
I stole that. Yeah,
but it's just like, but if you're gonna like Bill the Butcher post about like why certain groups of people don't belong here, I'm like, look, dude, you have to understand those people were here from like day one, and like that's kind of the irony of that character, is like you're missing the forest for the trees. It's America isn't an ethnicity. It's not a it's a loyalty. It's a loyalty thing. It's like people like I know a lot of people don't like the whole like, well, America's an idea. It's like America is not just
America is 100% an idea. If you were a heritage American and you're a fucking fat little commie like Dev, I want you against the wall. I want to put you on my wall. I want you to put you on. I want you standing there. I don't like you. If you, the thing is, what you have to do. This is what we do in physics, by the way. Again, another engineer post. What we do in physics, which is very useful, is we take the extremes. The extremes help you find out the boundaries. Boundary conditions mathematically actually allow you to predict everything that's going on inside of those boundaries. All right. So let's take a fully heritage American, like first on the boat, first boat after Roanoke. I don't even know what that is. Mayflower? Sure. Mayflower. Trace it all. His ancestors fought in every single war. He's a fat, unemployed communist, drawing from the public coffers. He just writes nothing but foreign bullshit from Dugan.
Death to America. The great
he's some Yale-educated little queer bitch. Fuck that. He's not an American. Yeah, exactly. I don't give a shit what his blood's done. Some random South Korean who was defending his shop during the LA riots is more American than him. Fuck that bullshit. Anybody who needs blood, anybody who needs to draw from their ancestry and their blood to say that they're American is basically a bitch.
Yeah.
What have you here's an American phrase. I'm just going to end it all. Here's an American phrase. What have you done for me lately?
Exactly.
What have you done for me lately?
Exactly.
Yeah. But fuck off.
Yeah, that's the thing is like yes, you can say America's an idea, but like I think it goes a step above that. It's a very strict cultural and virtue framework that like is like it is who we are. It is our culture. It's like people say Americans don't have culture. We do. It just doesn't fit into your weird little like European box of what a culture
Yeah,
is.
America must break itself free from Europe.
It's like we
Culturally.
have a culture, and
Okay, so
we need to start like enforcing it, because like the people, up until like the like 19, I don't know, like 1980s, I guess, because that's where a lot of like the amnesty initiatives started like getting put into place. But it's
yeah, the
like
Hart Killer Act and stuff too.
for the longest time, people understood like what is it to be an American, and it was a strong sense of patriotism, a belief in our like ideals and our Constitution, and it was an attitude. It was there is a culture here, and the fucking Euros just want to constantly deride it and degrade. It's like, oh, Americans have no culture, they have no cuisine, they have no this, they have no that. It's like we have all of this, you just don't like
everything.
it. Yeah, it's like
all of it. We came from them, and we came from them, and we separated ourselves from them. We packetized it. We froze it in a time capsule, and then brought it to here, and then let it thrive.
Yeah.
We are a pure blood strain of an old Europe that has long died. I think a better strain, and I think that's evident in the American character, that we are an old, better, and well-preserved strain of what Europe used to be. And that's why they hate us, because what they see, if they had the intelligence to understand, they would see their own past.
Yeah.
We are the older Europeans before the decimation of World War I and World War II.
They look at us and they think that we're a lower, and yet somehow we are thriving, so therefore we must be doing something against them.
Right?
Like,
yes, they also blame us for all their problems. It's absolutely infuriating.
What was that one thing that like that just came out, that like the average income in like Mississippi is higher than the average income in like the entirety of the
UK is lower income than the entirety of the United States.
Yeah, obviously. that must really fucking hurt, because like even like us Americans make jokes about Mississippi people being like the cousin fuckers. It must really hurt your fucking feelings that like they're doing better than you, and your long since yellowed and decayed ivory tower that you chopped up and sold off yourselves.
I didn't factor in that America's founding was also in part thanks to very Catholic France.
Well, yeah, it's like, but that's like, I mean, that's
well,
like
Lafayette was a Freemason.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like a lot
it was
of
actually a Masonic request. I think it was from George Washington himself.
Yeah,
Masonic request to Lafayette for assistance.
But it's like that's like a thing. Is like a lot of people have like a lot of historical illiteracy, that they think that like Catholic presence was like not tolerated ever in this country until a certain
point. It was in
point.
Maryland, yes.
Well,
but pre-founding, and then once the founding happened, I'm not aware of any laws that restricted.
Well, there were a few. It was the like when Maryland was like formally brought under the banner of like British law, and that extended to British common law. It forbade Catholics from holding public office. But once the revolution happened, all those laws were abolished, and things were changed. But the thing I'm getting at is that this sort of like abject hatred for like Catholics that they think happened, it wasn't as much as they thought it was, specifically because George Washington made special carve outs in society for Catholic people to be a part of it. Like he made like I forget like what it was, but there was like a law that like allowed Catholics to like hold churches in like certain states. He provided that like Catholics could serve in the Continental Army. He provided that Catholics could serve as chaplains for the Continental Army. He made like a big effort to convince a very overtly at the time Catholic France to aid them. So it's like, if they hated Catholics so much, they wouldn't have let them be part of the party. They wouldn't have let them serve in the army. They wouldn't have allowed themselves to ally with the French. It's like, I think it's one of those things that I think it's overplayed, because and like it was closer to the Victorian age that sentiment became more popular, but that was at the time that was like a racial voting point, because like a lot of the Irish were coming in and they were mostly Catholic.
Yeah, it was a wash of unwashed masses.
Yeah, but like that's like the thing is like the sensationalism is those Irish people who they were so scared of, they proved themselves to be part of the patchwork of America at like a crucial turning point in the Civil War and the post-Civil War age, that they were willing to work the hardest and strive the furthest to be part of this great thing that they saw from abroad. And so Irish Americans are still here, whereas the Know Nothing Party is just like it's something that people talk about as like a historical tidbit from the Gilded Age.
Interesting subject for another time. I think
Yeah,
we should give it
but
more. We should give it more breathing room.
sure, I think
Um,
so. But no, it's easy to say that like America is like was just founded in like Protestant Christianity, but like even the Protestant groups that were here at the time, those that there were, they had a lot of problems with each other.
oh yeah,
And
I
so
think this is the thing that I disagree with. With I don't know if it's a disagreement with Cosma, but I have a respect for chaos and conflict. I have a respect for continuing Darwinian conflict. I don't like mono. I don't like monolithic structures. I like a little. I don't mind like mega churches. I don't mind obviously bullshit Christian sects. I want them to compete, and I want the fools to fall for the foolishness, and I want the righteous to fall for the righteousness. I think that Christianity to me is a constant filter.
Sure.
And you have to filter. It is written that you're going to be sitting there working alongside a brother. You'll be sitting there sharing a bedmates like brothers, and your bedmate will be gone. That's how it is. As like people who you're the closest with, brothers, will differ and then become apart from each other. That's the way it has. That's the way it is written.
Well, have you ever
going to be? I don't ever. Just to close it out. I want shitty churches. I want the presence of shitty. I don't care if it says like I want a church. I'm gonna get extreme. I want a church that has a big neon sign that says fried chicken and hookers, so that all the fucking idiots can go to the fried chicken and hookers church, and I can go to the church with the good people. I have no desire to save people who are going to just sell their souls out for bullshit, whether it's aesthetics, whether it's some feeling of certainty. I feel like being a Christian, you're always going to be uncertain. That's part of the design of it. Sure. I feel like all this bullshit should befall us. So I don't mind infighting in Christian. In fact, I think it's a good thing. I think it should be out 50-50. You should be losing a lot of members as well as gaining them.
Have you ever heard the phrase familiarity breeds contempt?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's true, but I think there's like a third part that like a lot of people leave out, that if the familiarity in the first place was actually true, that contempt will just turn back around into familiarity again at some point in the future. It's like if you actually you can be the best of friends with somebody ever. Like it could be your best friend, but eventually you will just have a big argument with that guy. And if your friendship is really real, you guys will just be friends again. Like it can, it might take a while. It might take a week. It might take a month. It might take a year. But like eventually, if you guys are really friends, you will become friends again.
Correct. Everyone has, as I said before, everybody has one thing that is going to absolutely repel someone else.
Sure.
Is your friendship strong enough to actually endure that? And that's what the Peacemaker is all about.
It's not gonna be easy, but it's just like it's one of those things where it's like if you actually care about something, you have to stand by it, and if someone actually respects you, then they'll respect that.
I feel like for me, like caring is actually a very small part of it. It's just mostly the willingness to just pick up and fight for what feels like a good cause.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
I saw a bunch of like snippets from it. I do want to watch it because normally I really don't like George R. R. Martin.
It's very quick. Yeah. Don't forget about it. Don't worry about it. His bullshit's not in it that much.
No, I know. That's what people told me, is like it's more like heroics, like knight heroics that people kind of want is like what it is. So
he's indulging in actual moral writing for once.
Yeah. But that's one of those things. It's like so many people, like if I believe in something and I stand by it and people get mad at me, well, I'm just going to stand by it harder because like if I just like, what would it say about me if I just like it's like, oh well, this guy doesn't like what I have to say, I guess I'll just give up on this thing I thought I believed in.
The second to last episode of Night of the Seven Kingdoms is so good. Yeah, the kid who plays Egg is really hilarious. He's both bewildered but also in charge. It's very strange. Like he has a certain certainty about him, but you can tell that he is completely bewildered by Duncan, and I love that. Wonder meets I don't even call it mastery. I would like to call it mastery. It's more or less just status. Like even though he's at such a high status, Duncan still bewilders him because he's a proper knight.
Mhm.
Yes. So the second to last episode is amazing because you get to see who actually stands by Duncan, who doesn't. You will make the craziest bedmates in the very last of your hours if you're fighting for a righteous cause, because just random nobles will just like, yeah, I'll back this. I'll back this completely unknown hedge knight with questionable lineage and siredom. I don't even know what to call it when you're a knight, because his knighthood is also questionable because he was knighted in private.
Well, it's also like I think that's like another good thing about like that, just like as a cornerstone of American culture, is as much as we like to portray ourselves as like very cynical. Americans are actually like some of the like
Americans are so earnest. They're so wonderfully earnest.
Like we're one of the most like optimistic like cultures in the world, even though we try like not to present it as such. We are. And I think a good example of this is when The Last Samurai came out, because that was a strictly American film. Even though they filmed in Japan, they had like American or Japanese actors in it. That was a strictly American production. And when
I didn't know that.
Yeah, when it came out, it was obviously very well received in America because it's a really good movie. But also
Tom Cruise, and again, the man's awesome.
But it was also very well received in Japan, which that almost never happens.
Whoa! Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, but there was
that's nice.
There was a Japanese historian who he wrote like a really long think piece about it for the Nihon Shimbun, which is like the major Tokyo newspaper.
That old Nihon Shimbun. Thank God they came through for us, man.
But he said something along the lines of like theretofore in like Japanese culture, they had come to believe the samurai is like this sort of like antique of like a bygone age where it was like corruption, and it was like they were kind of like just like the enforcers of like the shogunate class, and there wasn't a lot of majesty or mystery left in them, and like even their cultural depictions, it was the guys who were outside of the samurai class who did the right thing. And
I had an argument. I believe it was with you and Cosmo on here that I contended that the samurai had started departing from their warrior class status.
Yeah,
at the Edo period, because they became scholars and bureaucrats. It was quite, to me, is a tragedy.
It was, but it's
the passing of the torch. I have a script that's coming out, which is why. A fun fact, by the way, why the warrior class died out is not because of guns specifically. It's actually just because of guns standardization, allowing for indirect fire.
Mm-hmm.
When guns are around, you can still be a warrior. Indirect fire, like artillery fire, mortar fire, required tremendous standardization of powder charge, round, weights and measures. If you ever look into the history of weights and measures, it's a fucking mess.
Yeah,
it is how many hogsheads per rod are you going to put into this thing? Yeah, it's a fucking mess. So, standardizing your armaments makes it possible to mathematically predict where your round is going to go, even though you don't have line of sight, and even though you don't have a volley fire, which means that the warrior class is done as soon as you get a proper mortar that can put rounds where you want it, when you want it, because all you need is an oxen or a horse and a nice wooded glen, and you could just rain hell on your enemy and then leave. Kill a bunch of people dying for things that you can't even see. Anyways, yeah.
But what the historian was basically opining was that he appreciated the film because like an outside culture, in this case America, they looked at this like culture that was considered just kind of shady and not very well liked, and it brought like a new it just brought a new like coat of paint to it. And
by the way, anybody who says that like, oh, samurai versus plate armor knights, oh, the samurai would lose, you're a fucking midwit, by the way, because the samurai weren't designed to fight in plated knights.
Yeah, they're not designed for it. And we could have a conversation about that because there's levels to it. But I'll finish my first thought. But it's
I'm gonna take a note while you're talking. I'm gonna take a note because we should talk about that. I would love to talk about samurai armor versus knight armor, and my debate is. It's always the answer is always you're not thinking hard enough whenever you have one of these debates.
Yes, but like basically what he said is like it reminded the people of Japan that at one point this was like these were a sort of like heroic legendary class of people, and it's sort of like it brought back some of that like chivalric magic that like people have
Sacrifice.
when they think of knights. It's like they
Yeah.
even though like towards the end like knights weren't that heroic. Same with like Romans,
Yeah.
like towards the end like the Roman centurion wasn't a very noble figure towards the end, but
Yeah, I
it's just
believe
like
it was, yeah.
it brings back that sort of like American optimism helped remind a completely different culture that like there is
America is the salt of the earth. I believe, and salt makes everything taste more like itself. It
yes
enhances the flavor. It doesn't. If you resist the salt, you'll be inundated with it until you're dead. However, if you embrace the salt, you become more of what you are. An American version of the British is more British than the British could ever produce.
yeah
It's amazingly British because, and you'll see this because a lot of British culture is funded by the American audience. When you want to see who makes a culture, it's actually not about who produces it. It's about who funds it, right? That's the Americans love British culture, and we will fund it like crazy. American viewership of Doctor Who brought Doctor Who back.
oh yeah
Yeah, absolutely. Any British man who ever wants to come to America, if you come to the right places in America, you will get American women. You have no idea how easy it is to get American women if you have a British accent and you can just spout off some bullshit about your culture. My God, Americans will literally pay money and they will fuck you to reinforce your culture. I don't know what more do you want. What more do you want? What more do you want from me? Like we are here to same thing with Japan. There's an entire song about liking Japanese boys. What do you want? We are here to listen and then eventually have sex with you. Apparently. You ever hear that song? Japanese Boy? It's on the it's on the Vice City soundtrack.
Okay. Well, but it's like that whole thing. It's like literally just like they wanted us to just send them pictures of our barbecue, and when they did, it's like I would die for you.
Yeah.
It's like, we didn't even cook it for them. We just sent them pictures of it. Yeah, we just sent them,
brother.
Yeah, we just sent them pictures of the barbecue. They're like, I would die for this.
All Americans want is we are a proper first world country. I would actually argue that America might be the only first world country because all we need is reciprocity, and we love you so much.
Yeah.
We love you long time in America.
And it's like a Japanese, like one of my new Japanese mutuals, he asked me about that. He's like, why do you want to talk to me all the time? Like, why do you want to just like engage like this? Like, I've never got like engagement like this before. It's like, man, I don't really know what to tell you. It's just other than like the rest of the world just like treats us like dog shit on the bottom of their shoe.
Yes.
And it's like, you guys are like, you're the only people that like treat us like we're not like these weird like ape men from like a different planet who just like, you know, like you want to know about our culture and you appreciate that we want to know about your culture. You don't treat us like we're fucking stupid. And it's just like, he's just like, is it really that bad? I was like, yeah, man, unfortunately, like that's kind of how it is. Like there are pockets, like I'm sure that like there are nice Europeans who like Americans and everything, but it's like for the most part, it's like they just have this like very dismissive attitude of like who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
And so it's like when we have a culture that actually enjoys having us around, it's like crack. It's like giving crack to an inner city neighborhood.
We like de-integrated immigrants in America. As much as people might say that we want to integrate you, fuck that shit. Chinatown rules. I wish there was a Japantown. Little Italy rules. I wish there was a little Poland. I wish there was little other countries inside of every city.
I mean, there's little Germany if you go to Fredericksburg, Texas, but
really, all right, I'll go there.
Yeah, I've heard that. Fredericksburg is where all the Germans are. They do a really good Oktoberfest every year.
Oh shit! Okay. Yeah. All right. Plans are being made. You want to meet up there? I'm down for it. Fuck yeah. October is my birth month. I love October.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to Oktoberfest, but yeah, Fredericksburg always has a good one. I like Oktoberfest. And I'm not even German, but yeah,
you don't have to be, brother.
But no, it's like that's the thing. Is like nobody has ever said like you have to completely like destroy your culture to become American. It's just
no. In fact, we want you to keep it. We don't want you to destroy it. We don't. The thing is, people say we want Americans. America is a covenant, not an assimilation. We actually don't want you to assimilate fully. How awesome would it be if every American was bilingual with their ancestral language? We would think that's awesome.
That would be pretty sick.
That'd be fucking awesome.
But yeah, it's just like
that'd be so cool.
It's Man, I wish there was better language at my high school because like our only options when I went
We
to high
actually
school.
don't like Americanizing of the cultures that much.
Oh, definitely not. And that's like, yeah, it's like everything is just like a bunch of Japanese guys like, he's like, do the Americans want us to be more like them? And like every American's like, no, please keep being Japanese.
Yeah, if you were just more Japanese, that'd be so good. Becoming the stereotype. That's what I would do if I was in Japan. I would wear the cowboy hat every day. Hey,
I brought my cowboy hat.
Konnichiwa.
Yeah, I brought my cowboy hat when I went, and I'll do it again when I go back. But no, it's they have like a whole like it's like
Really?
it's,
That's awesome. Did they take up West Michigan? I didn't know that. By the way, I love tulips. My family lived under Dutch occupation. We made hay under that. We really enjoyed it. We governed the Strait of Malacca. We have like my grandfather's house had a portrait of the Last Supper and Dutch tapestries all over the place.
I like that.
It was more Dutch than it was Indonesian. It was quite something. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. But yeah, no, it's just like what was it? When I was in high school, the only options I had for learning another language was Spanish because that's a pretty common one. Latin, which I didn't really find all that useful.
Yeah.
And then French, which I also really just did not care to learn.
Yeah, fuck French. Yeah,
but like
you're not French, are you? So it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, some of my friends were like, "Yeah, in my high school we got to like take Japanese." I was like, "Man, I would have killed a man to."
Oh, I would have killed multiple men.
Yeah, like that would have been so cool. But yeah, no, and like that's the problem is like learning Spanish in America is like basically worthless unless you learn it from a Mexican because the type of well no it's true because like the type of Spanish that they teach in like the textbooks is like Spanish from Spain and the Spanish from Spain is like wildly different from the Spanish in Mexico for obvious reasons because they're like it's a culture that's like basically apart and so therefore they have like changed so deeply. But yeah, no, it's just like no, like we're fine with you keeping your culture. It's just like the whole problem is like if you're gonna be an American, we want you to hold our virtues and our ideals, and we want you to be loyal to America. And if you are, that doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. You can do Oktoberfest, you can do St. Patrick's Day, you can do Chinese New Year. It doesn't really matter. It's just like we want to know that like beneath like the cultural enjoy that there is like an ultimate loyalty to the American identity.
Correct. Yeah, the American identity is central to it. If you become someone who is like anti-American for whatever reason, I cannot tolerate it. I'm trying to find this one because there was this Japanese girl on chat roulette who matched with an American guy who could speak Japanese perfectly. Oh yeah, I saw you like this one, you bastard.
I should call her. Oh no! What was even funnier than that is there was a Japanese guy who responded to me as just like, fat ass with a thong. I had a type like that too once. Yeah, that guy.
I had a face like that too.
Yeah,
like it. All right, I have the sushi cake. Yeah. We're all just dudes.
Yeah.
I like this one too. It's like it's not fertilized. Yeah, she used a condom. Yeah, it's funny.
Sometimes like the Japanese will just like they'll just say the most like out of pocket stuff you ever.
Oh, they're so frank. I love it.
Yeah.
By the way, what do you like? Do you like these guys' paintings? Mark Maggiore?
Yeah, I like that. Just like I think I used a cropped version of that painting for something I did once, where it was like I was feeling a little bit depressed one day about just kind of like the state of affairs. I think I used like a cropped version of that painting where it just says like all I typed was like all the ranges have been fenced in.
No.
But well, specifically, I was talking about like the internet. Like it's like I feel like the internet is like it's not the Wild West anymore. I think all the mesas are being like fenced in when it comes to the internet at this point.
Well, it's an interesting point. Actually, I'm gonna remove this screen while I look for the thing I'm looking for. Yes, foreign exploration is not just geographic; it's also a place of the mind. Mm-hmm. I think the problem is the scholars. As soon as they start delving into the mind, they realize that the mind is actually a perverted, idiotic thing, and a lot of scholars who really delve into ideas just get fucking stupid. after a while. So like,
Yeah.
We also explore different products. We explore the product space. Like we try and when you're making a new thing, you are an explorer. An inventor is a form of explorer, I feel like.
Yeah.
But they're at the whims of the market and sometimes timing. I feel like geographic exploration is actually the most purest form because it realigns. America was like a fresh start for Europe, I feel like. And it continues to be.
It was the race. Like every European superpower was like, we found this new continent, we all have to get there now. And like we all have to stake our claim. And like so it became something that was special for humanity, like theretofore, is it was something that like drove innovation and it drove passions. And I think that ultimately that's why we need to focus on spaces, because spaces it's
the next
it's borderline infinite. It's infinite amounts of drive and possibility and optimism. And like that's why I hate cynical space stories, because it's like, this is like, yeah, it's like, it's dark. It's like a dark field of stars, and that's kind of scary, but it's like, it's also kind of interesting too, isn't it? Because every star is a possibility.
Yeah. And people who say that, well, we got starvation and war on Earth, so let's not explore space. It's foolish, absolutely idiotic, because our space exploration is actually a very small amount of money compared to most other things.
Oh yeah.
Our expenditure to space, like the Artemis mission. Let me see what the Artemis mission cost was.
It's like, I'm gonna guess $1 billion. I'm gonna guess 1 billion. That's my guess.
See what the Brave. Yeah, estimated cost over $4 billion per launch.
Okay.
That's fine. The Minnesota bullshit thievery from our government was way more than that.
Well, I think just what we spend on like social security is like 400 billion every year.
Yeah. It's not our. The thing is, it's not our. This is gonna like trigger a lot of people, I suppose, but it's not our government's job to make you employable or make your life livable.
I suppose not, but like it's like every time someone's talking about like the budgetary money, I'm like, we have the money. It's just it's tied up in bullshit. Like it's tied up in bullshit.
Our bullshit is fraud, but our bullshit is also taking care of stuff that people can take care of themselves.
Yeah, it's like how much do we spend on NATO every year? Like 6 billion.
Right, and that's another debate. I have as much as I have like the Catholic Protestant debate is less incendiary than the America NATO debate.
Yeah,
that's properly insane. My position is that America does not need NATO.
No,
and at all. Like we don't need the allies in NATO. What we need is a couple of places to fill our. So, what we need is places to stop off. Greece has been very gracious to us.
Yeah, Japan.
Japan has been fantastic. We own all of the island hops between here and Japan. Malacca is a massive win for us. As people have said, 80% of China's imports come through Japan. Sorry, Malacca. Malacca is my ancestral homeland.
Well, it's like a lot of people love to hate on Israel, but they give us like a forward operating base in the Middle East.
Correct. Well, they give it. Yes, the Suez Canal is right next to Israel, and Somaliland. Our backing of Somaliland is not a coincidence. It's right on the other side of that canal.
I think. I also think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think Saudi Arabia and Egypt also let us like operate bases in their countries too.
Yes, Iran has been a fantastic boon for us because since they went ballistic, they've actually solidified the alliance between America and a lot of the Middle East. Once they found out that I think what's going to happen is a lot of these hyper-Islamic countries are going to soften it and then reform Islam into pretty much almost a secular form of Islam.
Well, and what it's gonna have to be is you're gonna need like the big players who are like the big geopolitical, like, why is it big? Like it's big in proportion. Nobody's bigger than like us and Russia, but like big, relatively speaking, geopolitically important Middle Eastern countries that are like Islamic fundamentalist and like pro-terrorist, like Iran, for example. It's like once they fall, a lot of these like micro countries in like Africa and like the Middle East who like they also try to do that, they're not really going to have much to stand on. And like that's like the thing is like the people who live there that are like under the thumb, they don't really have any recourse to do anything because a lot of these micronations they get their funding from like Iran and like Iraq.
Correct.
And, like,
correct. Yeah, it's a major fund, and the funding is gray in that we can't trace it all. So there might be a lot of effects that we, as you said, don't even predict.
And so it's
we'll have like some random militia in Africa.
Yeah, like like I think that like a lot of the like the Muslim majority countries in like North Africa that are like Islamic fundamentalists where they oppress people. It's like once they get like their funding cut from like other Islamic fundamentalist like countries that are like trying to bankroll that, it's gonna be like communist countries. If you ever cut off like if we ever manage to like cut off China, it's like a lot of the communist like bullshit is gonna go away once China's not bankrolling all of it. Same with like Islamic fundamentalism.
Yeah. Yeah,
because there was actually Cardinal Robert Sarah. He actually had a really good statement about this, where he talked about how in his home country of Guinea, it's very like the relationship between Christians and Muslims is very different compared to how it is in like the Middle East or in like a North African country like Algiers, because it's just they're not really aligned with like Middle Eastern Islamic fundamentalism, so the outcomes are different.
Islam must, I think, is for global peace to take hold. I think Islam must be just destroyed completely until it's either through secularization, because nobody fucking reads the book, man. It's in Arabic.
I think they were
Arabic. They don't know. They have to go to their priests, their imams, for a translation.
I think it was like that before. If I'm not misremembering, like the majority of people in Iran before like the color revolution, they were still Muslims. It's just it was like the Islam there was more like relaxed and more like they kind of
it was some bullshit watered down Islam.
I don't think it was watered down. It's just, I think they approached it in like a more Western way. The way like
all right, I gotta stop you there. Proper adherence to Islam is extreme. When you look at Muslim extremists, that is Islam. Mm-hmm. Every Islam that's like, oh, that's moderate, that's tolerable, that's okay, that is a watered down Islam. Mm-hmm. If you look at actual Islam, because what their book reinforces. Their doctrine reinforces extremism, totalitarianism, and the despotism. It enforces genocide against anyone who doesn't join you. Mm-hmm. That's the vanilla. That's vanilla Islam. Everything to the left, everything that's less than that is watered down. So when you see like Muslim extremists, what you're seeing is the person who is saying like, well, it is what it is to the television, when the television depicts someone beheading somebody in England. That's what it is. It's someone who's not going to do the beheading themselves, but they're like, oh, well, that is part of our doctrine. Yes, it is. It's like, no, all of Islam is intolerable. All of Islam is intolerable. It is all for this.
I think not you, Alex. Sorry, I think Alex Cosma. I think the last time he was on, I think we talked about this. I think he brought it up. Was it like the last time they tried to do that was like Wahhabism, and like even that like didn't work. Like
burn it all. Burn it. It needs to be burned to the ground. Anybody who sticks up for communism or Islam is an enemy to me, because there's nothing redeemable about it. It is all bad. It is all bad. If you read the Bible, it actually moderates you. A lot of what Christ says puts the sword back into your scabbard.
Sure. Yeah, of course it does.
It's Islam is like full fucking scabbard. Let's go. 72 virgins. Fuck it. Let's go. Feed your wife half of what you eat. You know, treat your women like cattle. It's like, no, this is not tolerable. Tolerable. This is a planet. This is a planet of apes.
Who is your prophet? A road bandit, you say? Okay, yeah, I think
he's some Bedouin road bandit. Bedouin road bandit, self-admitted demon listener. Like, fuck off. Honestly, fuck off. Christ is the last prophet. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Like, I don't need this bull. Like, we don't have to tolerate this. We don't have to live with this. It can be destroyed.
Yeah, it's like that's like a thing that like I've been thinking about with like recent events, where it's like it's kind of like giving me a moment to like pause and think. It's like we don't like here, like in America and like the rest of the Western world, we don't have to live with it, but we also have a lot more freedoms that a lot of people don't, and I feel that like we don't really consider that.
We don't have, and we don't have to. Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, if like, let's pretend, like, let's pretend there's like a hypothetical where like a formalized, like, full Islamic revolution tries to like take over America. It's like we've got guns, we've got community.
They're cowards.
It's like we
The,
can.
the, the thing is, they love material things. They want virgins to fuck. They want treasures to spend. All of those are material. They're not actually willing to die for things above that. Like you'll get a suicide bomber, but like.
But like we could fight back. Like what I'm saying is like we could fight back. Like
from the intel that I had, a lot more suicide bombers than you think were actually duct taped and forced into it.
Yeah,
it is not some coalition of the willing. It is not some, like, Christianity is able to muster greater forces than this because these people are all just swine. They're wanting swill.
Exactly, but it's just like in the areas where they're in power and they hold all the cards, and the Christians are like the micro minority. It's like those people don't really have a lot of recourse on what they can do because they don't have the same freedoms or the same preparations that we do, and so they kind of have to, they have to exist like the original Christians did, like in caves, like hiding from the Romans. Because like that's all they can do. Like they don't have any recourse to do anything else right now.
That's all right. We're not those Christians. We can.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. We're not. But like the Christians who live in like Tangiers or Iran or
anything you put your mind to, man, we could kill them all.
But like, well, but yeah, like we're getting into like at that point you're getting into like the
who?
Why the fuck am I blanking on the word? Crusade. Like we're getting into the crusade mindset. It's like those people like.
It's not a crusade. It's just they're evil and awful and terrible, and we should just get rid of them.
But I'm just saying, like the people who live under the systems right now, it's harder for them to figure out how to rise up, and so like they have to rely on prayer and they have to believe that God will provide.
Yeah, sure. Well, I don't know. I don't understand what your point. What's your point?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Summarize it.
Well, I'm just saying like recent events have kind of like given me that pause to think about. It's like those people are going through something that I'll never have to experience.
Yeah.
And I think that like
I've experienced that.
That gives them something that I don't really know, and I probably never will know unless I just want to subject myself to it.
I've experienced
which I don't want to.
Yeah, I've experienced it. It fucking sucks. Fuck those Muslims. Kill them all. I don't give a shit. Like this is the problem is I went to Indonesia. More Muslims there than the entire Middle East. In one city, Jakarta. That's where we survived. That's where my family survived. We didn't even know what Catholics were. Because we were abandoned by the cowardly European powers at some point. But they left us a brave and courageous and wonderful message. And that's the word of Christ. And we thrived in it. We actually made the worst conditions favorable because of the leadership of Jesus Christ. And I got to say, there's nothing redeemable. I think the West should use its full force. I think anyone who says like mercy to your enemies is correct. Mercy to your enemies when they surrender. Anyone who wishes to die for God, I say we indulge them. Like this there's nothing redeemable. We should not allow them to continue. This is evil on par with communism. I think there's no bargain. And the thing is, the West doesn't have to bargain with them. We have overwhelming force. Thanks to the fruits of the faith that made a trustworthy society that is productive. We can actually win. We can actually send them all to their God they so wish to see whenever we want them to. And America can just send the greatest terrorist state, Iran, into oblivion within, what's it been, like 14 days?
It's been a little bit longer than that. I think it's been like a
week.
Less than a month and a half. Like
Armageddon within weeks.
And it was, what was it?
Who can do that but with God? Because this is what I'm saying is like greater societies do not have to suffer these lesser societies, these barbarians, communists and Islamists. Well, and I don't want to tolerate Islam as a religion. The First Amendment is restricting of Congress, not the states of America. I don't want Muslims in my state at all, and we don't have to deal with it. As the thing is, like I'm not like a post-liberal or anything. I'm actually very liberal, but when there's evil, it's evil, and you can just get rid of it. We don't have to make peace. Peace is well and easily done over the silence of the grave. I don't want to make peace with these people because they don't want to make peace with us. There's no reciprocity. There's no commonality. These are the wickedness of like Assyrians. This is a callback. I don't make peace with Satan. Anyone who calls us to make peace with Satan is with Satan, as far as I'm concerned. We don't have to deal with this. We're America. And this is a night for Americans.
Yep. Speaking of night for Americans, I'm going to grab a beer. I'll be right back.
Yeah, all right. It's cool. Yes. We don't have to. This is the greatest lesson of this last month or so is we don't have to compromise. We can just flatten these bastards into the sand. I don't want to have to Jimmy Carter this bullshit. We don't have to deal with it. We don't. I don't care if the Shah is in power or not. I couldn't care. Democracy is pretty shit. It's pretty easily. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly what I'm saying. It's like Pax Romana is when our enemies are gone.
I'm back.
Yeah. Peace is the fruit at the end of a long season. But there is a winter, a spring, and a summer before the fall. Peace is the harvest upon the fall. Many things have to be done before the peace. Peace is not a thing you pursue. You must pursue the season you're in. And the season that we're in right now, I would say is the spring. Time to sow some seeds. I hope to God the Iranian people gain control of their country and become whatever they wish to become. And we're open to it as long as they're open to trade, as long as they're not willing to become terrorists. Zoroastrians? Maybe that'd be interesting. I don't approve of it. Christians, very happy with that.
Muslims,
not happy with that.
I don't co-sign it, but it's just if there is a what's the word? If there's like a just like a I don't know, treaty doesn't sound like the right word, but an agreement, whatever, I guess, that they give up some of that, some of their like oppressive nature of like other systems of belief and just kind of like don't start shit and just kind of stay in their stay in their lane, then I am fine with that. Like it's just like I don't think that like just putting people to the sword indiscriminately.
Not indiscriminate.
No, like I'm fine with justifiable violence, but it's just like if you can agree, like, look, you stay in your yard and I'm gonna stay in my yard, and maybe if we're having a good week, we wave at each other across the yards, but it's like stay in your yard, I'll stay in my yard, and like as long as that's honored, then I think that's fine.
So equivocating of you. If there's a house next door to me that's full of termites, I burn the house. I burn it all.
I'm just saying that's my personal view on the matter. Is just was it loss of life doesn't really appeal to me unless it's somebody who's trying to kill me first. But it's like I don't mean that like it. But I don't mean that like
their entire doctrine is built on killing you. My friend. They praise your death. They want your children raped and murdered. They want them humiliated. They want you castrated. That's their doctrine. That is in their holy scripture.
I'm just saying,
evil needs an answer.
I mean, you can hate me as long as
I don't hate you at all. I think
not you, not
evil.
No, not you. In generalities, like you can hate me as much as you want. I don't care. But if you're gonna,
you should care.
If you're gonna come over to my house and try some shit, then you're getting shot. Like that's the thing. It's like you can hate me, but it's just like if you try to act on it, you're gonna die. Like it's like that's my
Duganist multipolarism. Are you willing to tolerate a neighbor that wants you dead, but has not acted on it just yet? He not only wants you dead, he is planning it, preparing for it, sharpening his knives, loading his bullets.
I've got my bullets loaded too. I've got my.
Do you want to? Are you the turkey shoot or the shit show? Choose.
I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, this is the problem with the West. They will wait until they are put to the sword before they draw theirs. This is comedy. This is the divine comedy. Maybe it's worth your soul. I don't know if it is. Is it written? I don't know.
Well, I mean, was it? I always refer back to,
my neck belongs to Jesus.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say. Is like there's that two parts, like the two parts of like what Jesus told the disciples is if you have no sword, you must sell your cloak and buy one. Mm-hmm. So you must always be ready.
You will not be provisioned by Christ for protection or provision.
You must always protect yourself, or you must always be prepared to protect yourself. But at the same time, it's when the Romans showed up for Jesus and Paul tried to draw his sword and stop them.
Are you Jesus?
Well, I'm not Jesus. I'm following
Jesus. Yeah.
I'm following the lesson that Jesus told to his disciple that he who lives by the sword will also die by the sword. So it's one of those things. Like I'm not going to spring to preemptive or indiscriminate violence, but I will defend my own life if I have.
Not indiscriminate. They want you dead. They've said it.
I mean, they wanted Jesus dead, but they also wanted his disciples dead too. That's why he.
Are you Jesus? That's the thing, is that I don't think that I am the sacrifice of the Lamb of God.
But I don't either.
I'm the one who's been left behind. If Peter was acting to defend himself, he was acting to defend Jesus. That's what I'm saying is like, are you conflating divinity with the corporeal?
No, but
you were specifically commanded by the divine to protect yourself. But the divine said not to protect the divine. This is a lesson that you must learn. The divine does not need your protection, but you do need your own protection.
That's just now we're just getting into scripture talk, and like you can talk about that all day.
Scripture talk is the only talk. That's the only talk that matters. This is crucial.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing about scripture talk is like you can talk about it all day about different interpretations and meanings and this and that and this and that.
I'm telling you what Christ said.
Well, that's fine, but it's like
you must have a sword to defend yourself.
And I do. I have multiple swords. I have multiple swords of multiple different calibers.
We don't have to tolerate people that want us dead, is what I'm saying. We don't have to tolerate these multipolar forces. We don't have to live like this. You don't have to pass on you are the father. You are the father hen. You don't have to pass on the fox to chase your children to death. This is not a thing you have to pass on. Evil can be destroyed in its most form. You don't have to tolerate evil stewing in its own yard. You don't have to tolerate termites infesting the house next to yours. You could just burn the house down. I don't think we have to tolerate this. Maybe I'm overstretching. God forgive me if I am. Maybe I'm wrong. This is my point of view. I don't think you're evil. I'm going to take back what I said. I don't even think you're a coward or anything like that. I think you're trying to adhere, and I'm trying to adhere. And we're going to have to be just brothers in this. Imagine if Cain and Abel had a third party that just was real sketch, not even in their family. Cain was like, I'm going to beat this guy with a rock.
Cain and Abel and their weird cousin Stan.
Yeah, Stan. Fuck Stan. Like Stan's a weird, sketchy mother. He looks like Fogel from Superbad, but he acts even sketchier. Yeah, exactly. Like God forget. In other words, what I'm asking, like, you know what? If you think what we're doing is wrong, pray for our forgiveness.
Well, it's not that it was. It's not about. It's not about. It's not about wrong. It's because I don't. I understand. I understand what you're positing, and I'm not saying I disagree. Or I mean, I have my personal reservations about what you're saying, but I'm not saying you're wrong to think what you're thinking. I'm just saying I have a different. I have a different point of view on the matter, and I don't think you're wrong. I'm just saying I'm probably 3 steps behind where you are.
No, so there's no worries. Like our first duty is to convert the enemy, but the thing is, there's also the scripture of dusting your sandals off or just dusting your feet off and moving on. Like as Christians, we're not supposed to try and convert people that don't seem amenable to it. In other words, we're not there to convince people. I think it's a brilliant move that we are not to engage the rational center of your brain to convince you to convert. We need the sentimental. We need to reach people that feel it to the core. And that's also a reason why Christ preached to the children, is that you emphasized the bringing of the children into the church, because that's when you build that feeling, that core into it.
Yeah. Raise up a child in the way that he shall go, and even when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Excellent. By the way, I appreciate you quoting scripture so well. Our enemy is not versed in the scripture, but they must see the merits of it. And what I would do is I'd see, like, do you see the merits of it? Do you want to preserve this, or do you want to destroy it? Are you a force of destruction, or are you a force of preservation? Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't. And the thing is, the people that want to convert will be done so at the foot of martyrs. A lot of Christians have to die to try and convert a handful of the enemy. But once that's done, I'm just saying, unleash the force of not God, but the only second to God that there is, which is the United States military. I don't want to ever have to. I don't want to pass on Iran. I bet you money. I bet you $100 right now. I'm not going to live this long, but I bet you Islam is actually going to fall apart pretty quickly.
It's going to have to, because nothing can stand, like no rock can stand against the tide without being eroded in some way. And that's true of everything. Every single different sect of Christianity there ever has been is fundamentally different from day number one when it was founded. The Catholic Church is like that. The Lutherans are like that. The Methodists are like that. They all have to stack up against the tide of time, and it changes them. It doesn't matter if it takes 100 years or 1,000 years or whatever. Like, they all fundamentally change. And Islam, they've had a good run of it because they try to
conquered, and they got all their legitimacy from conquest. But what happens when the conqueror is stalled and not only turned?
I was gonna say they tried to retain what they are through force and through domination, but that's not enough. Like, it's fundamentally that's just not going to work.
My father. So my lineage is the East Asian Hakka tribe in Indonesia, and we do a lot of work with the Muslims, and we are able to. Every woman who's married into our ancestral line has been a Muslim woman, which means she's an apostate, because we are fervently Christian. That means every woman we've ever married is willing to die horribly for the man she married. I think that's quite a thing.
It's a big deal. That's a big deal.
She's willing to be pulled apart, drawn and quartered. The thing is, like, for us, the destruction of Islam happens when you not only stall their conquests, but also showed their sacrifices mean nothing. As soon as they start getting that's why Muslims freak out when they get any sort of pushback. That's why Iran is losing its mind and is punching every drywall around it. Because as soon as they get some pushback, like some Middle Eastern rug merchant, as soon as the customer walks away, their price drops in half. As soon as the customer walks away, all of their bargaining power goes away. As soon as we don't need them, as soon as we show that they have no power, all of their legitimacy goes away. Whereas Christianity, its legitimacy comes from the ability to have joy in life. Honestly, like,
well, it's a bunch of different things. It's like that, and that's why we have stood the test of time, is because yes, there is a militaristic arm to it. I mean, men have taken up Bible and sword.
And that's the thing, is like the Deus Vult Catholics are like, you're getting like less than 10% of the story if you're some like Crusader Catholic, because the greatest joy of Christianity is having a happy family.
Well, sure,
that is so much of it.
And I was gonna say that's like the B half is like, you know, and it's not just Catholicism. I mean, there's been other like Protestants too in certain situations, like after. Like in certain conquests, it's just like the concept of like Bible and sword. You know, that's very powerful.
Christianity is Christianity. But I think everyone who proclaims Christ to be the Son of God and our salvation of our sins, everyone gets. This is why I don't like the whole sectarianism with Christianity of like, well, this is a Methodist colony, and that's all glory goes to Christ. We are all in the same church as soon as we acknowledge it.
I agree, but what I'm getting is the B half of that is it's not always Bible and sword. It's we've endured because there's also like the mercy aspect of like to your own like kinship and like community that is around you. It's the people who are like within your purview to show mercy to. That's why it is because it is. In the bad times, we are strong, and in the good times, we are merciful, and that's why we have, that's why Christianity has persisted.
That's why Christ is such a rock. Is that he is unmoving? He's so amazing and beautiful because in war times and peace times, he's the same Christ. And like for us, like,
oh, sorry, go on.
Not well. I was gonna say, like, for us, my family has seen, and I've. Because of my divorce, a lot of the men of my family have reached out to me and spoken to me about our faith. I was like, you guys could have done this the first go around. You didn't have to wait till I got divorced. You didn't have to do it. But they're talking to me about the rock of their faith and how it kept them strong in the worst times, war times, peace times, and really just really do great things in all of the times. Chaos, order, anything. And honestly, Christ's message is so strong because it has the fruits. It is the fruit, and then it is the fruit that endures all seasons. So yes, for all the and we convert Muslims like crazy. It's actually really hard, because they're promised so much carnal delight. But yes, you can convert Muslims if they're of the right heart. And everyone that you can't convert is honestly just a garbage human.
Well, and yeah, but that's what I was gonna say is like Islam, like it's not gonna last because it's all militaristic brutality. There's not any beauty in it. There's not any mercy in it. It's just
beauty is in restraint. As the one very short saxophone man told us, it's the stuff that you don't do that actually makes the world beautiful. And
but it's also like they need to it's a need to feel strong at all times. You must always be the strongest warrior. You must always be the most the most what's the word, like the most vicious and common. Like that's what they think, but it's like. Was it with Christianity? It's like it's what it says in Psalms 27. You know, the Lord is my light, my salvation. Of whom should I fear? It's like you've got if you believe in like the one true God, and you believe that you are in His friendship and that you are in His fellowship, then what honestly can scare you? Like what do you really have to be afraid of? But it's just like it's the thing is like a lot of Islam it turns on fear, the fear of being punished, the fear of being killed. The fear of the fear that like Allah will like damn you to hell because you dared to have like a swig of beer or something. It's ridiculous is what it is.
I saw someone getting executed earlier today because they were listening to music during prayer.
Yeah, a lot of the battle it's not gonna hold up as the they can't stay in their little bubble forever. Eventually that bubble is going to burst.
May the Islamic societies provide many martyrs I feel like we can flip them very easily.
Well, it's like I think honestly, I think we've already kind of done it, because if you believe some of the reports that are coming out of Iran, it's like they don't want this anymore. They want to go back to they want to go back to like what it was like under the Shah, and they want to have a real society again.
Yes. I want yeah, exactly, absolutely. People who live under Islam don't want to stay under it. Okay, like people who live under Islam do not want to, because it's oppressive. Imagine you can't even listen to music. Music is actually haram, which means dirty in Islam.
Yeah, but like that's kind of the
dog.
thing.
By the way, don't even talk to me about having a pet dog.
That's exactly. That's another one. Yeah, like if you don't like dogs, that's a sure sign.
You don't
of evil.
like dogs. You just
that's a sure sign of evil.
Those
in my
sweet
book.
things.
Yes,
but
no, it's I don't think we're gonna need to like organize like a fight and like put them to the sword, because I think they're not gonna make it. They aren't gonna make it.
No, exactly.
It's a deeply anti-human anti-human belief system, and like once they get a little taste of what it's like when they don't live under this regime, they break from it. Because that's another common talking point, is a lot of like Islamic men who come to the West where they're not constantly under the eye of surveillance of the state. Like they start drinking, they start eating pork, they start like doing all the haram things they're not supposed to do.
Some of them still remain dangerous, unfortunately.
No, they do, but I'm just saying it's just like I think that's a sign. It's a sign.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing, but unfortunately, a lot of Muslims feel like they can still make their way to martyrdom by, even if they violate a ton of rules.
Sure, but it's like, but that's also
by doing an act
that
is horrendously dangerous.
I think honestly, that's like I think that's probably one of the only like overarching good things that came from the early like GWAT campaign, is just the overwhelming like relentless use of force that we brought down, even though it didn't lead to overwhelming victory. I think what it showed those people is Islam is not going to provide for them. Like they're going to deal with all of this awful hard times, and Islam isn't providing for them. It's only making it harder and worse for them. In fact,
it's not enough to profess that Christ is the King of Kings. It's also incumbent upon us to demonstrate that their God is worthless. Allah is worthless. Muhammad is a charlatan. Destroy it. Just decimate them. Hit them with everything you can. Propaganda would be the best thing ever. And they are getting hit with propaganda for sure. It was like, I guess what I'm saying is like, we do not need to tolerate the alien, the foreign, the xeno.
No, we don't. But it's like, historically speaking, it's, by just doing what we need to do, and just fighting when we have to fight and defending when we have to defend, and behaving like Christians and in all times there in between, Christianity is always won in the end. Because think about it, like aside from like a bunch of like brain dead LARPers, there is no more Norse paganism. There is no more Roman paganism. There is no more.
All that bullshit is gone.
It's gone. It died out, and they didn't have to fight back to do it. It's just, well, I mean, like they fought defensively, but it's like they didn't have to wage war to get it gone. It's just like the Vikings gave up on Norse paganism just because they found Christian society to be more agreeable, and by just converting to Christianity, they found their lives easier by comparison, because they weren't beset upon as much by their like war religion.
I think unfortunately the Catholic Church is going to be bewildered by the expediency of the American attitude, because we just don't deal with the shit. We just don't. Like, we'll just exterminate it. We how many Ayatollahs have we killed?
2 that I know.
Yeah, and the last one is some gay cripple.
Well, no, I think he's dead too. That's why I said 2.
I
don't believe that he's still alive in some bunker somewhere.
And we're gonna kill more of them if they make them. Like we don't like, the thing is, like, America is this absolute force. And unfortunately, what I found to be true is that this very alleged Christian doctrine of, listen, pray for them after they're dead. but they must die. Like these people are absolute forces of evil.
I mean, no, you don't have to. I mean, like if you're talking about like killing like the Shah and his mullahs, like I'm not going to disagree with you. Like they're bad. Like they're bad men who wage war for no reason.
Everyone who's in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, everyone who's suppressing the Iranian people, everyone who's anti-America.
No, you don't. You don't have to. You don't have to convince me. I was never against the. I was never against the Iran conflict. Like a lot of people try to like say something to me about it. It's like I don't really have a problem with it.
We unfortunately we have to do this.
We've already like that's the thing is like people act like this is some new conflict. We have been in a tepid state of conflict with Iran for like 46 years, I think. It's like since the Reagan years. So it's like this isn't a new conflict. This is just the conflict like finally
we're ending it. Yeah. We're finally addressing it.
So it's like no, it's like I don't have a problem with this. It's just like all I really want is I want it done expeditiously, which it has been, and I want it done without American servicemen dying needlessly, which they haven't. So I don't really have a problem with it.
Here's another thing: is that we want it done so expeditiously that no Islamic power will ever try to replicate it.
Yeah,
and we have to make an example of our enemies at this moment because the thing is. Saudi Arabia is waffling as they do. They want extermination of the Iranian regime. They want peace, whichever day. Right?
Well, I mean, Saudi Arabia is they're a non-NATO ally. They we work with them for like anti-terrorism measures in the Middle East. Same as we do with Egypt. It's that's like the thing is they're kind of like on our quote unquote like dinner list basically that we'll have them over for supper, but it's like we don't I don't really know how strong that is.
We need their cooperation. We cannot have any more havens for terrorism.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like they don't Saudi Arabia, they're trying to become a global participant. And so they can't have terrorism because that's bad for business. And so that's why they want to help us. Same with Egypt. Egypt understands that they're not a traditionalist Muslim country. They're a country that has a prolific world history that people want to see. So they want to open themselves up, but they can't have terrorism in their country if they want to do that. So that's why they cooperate.
Yeah, what we need is these revolutionary governments to dump the Revolutionary Guard.
Yeah, exactly. But that's always what I've said is I don't have a problem with the Iran thing. I want it done right. And if you hit if the thing with Venezuela had just never happened, I think I would be a little bit more suspicious because I'm one of those people who I'd seen so much failure from the military that I'm just I don't know.
Yes, it's a rebranding of the military that shows that we can actually get stuff done.
Yeah, exactly. But Venezuela plus that thing where we rescued that downed pilot from Iran, I'm okay, I think we can actually if we keep operating like this, I think we can actually do it. And so that was always my point is I'm not against conflict as long as one, I think it's justified for various reasons, and two, we can wage it in a way that's smart and enough service members don't die needlessly for no reason or because of leadership's incompetence or whatever. And so far that's what I've been seeing is we've been doing a good job. And so I mean it's everyone's talking about peace. A peaceful resolution would be great. It's not going to happen. That would be awesome, but it's not going to happen.
I think what's going to happen is the Iranians are going to just exterminate all of the one by one the old government until they're legitimate enough for the Americans to back openly.
Exactly. But that's that's my whole thing is just it's I love the concept of what's the joke from The Office? Love peace, love to have some someday. But that's the problem is we tried to give them peace. We sent JD Vance over there to figure something out.
Yes, I saw a great article that JD Vance was the good guy, right? Yeah. So if Iran can't make it with the good guy that wants them to succeed, then
Yeah.
are no longer liable for their failures.
Yeah, it's like that whole thing is like they made it. I don't think they could have made a more definitive statement. Like Iran said, like we think that peace talks have concluded and we're not coming back to the table. Like it's I don't really know how much more of a definitive statement you can make. It's like we tried, we did our part. We tried to meet them halfway, and they slapped the olive branch out of our hand. So it's like we don't really owe them anything past that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Trump was open to negotiating with them, and he's not usually open to negotiating with anybody. But it's one of those things. It's like we tried, and they didn't like what we had to offer, and they made sure that we were very aware of it. And so it's unfortunate, but that's what happened.
I think we're going to enter into a new global order where the United States is no longer subject to the UN and European rules of engagement, and we can start just power playing however we want.
Well, it's I forget who it was, but there's like it might have been Howling Mutant for all I know. I can't remember, but it was someone made a tweet where it's like the UN what's it called? Not the code of conduct, the Human Rights Council or whatever. Like sure, I forget like what they said, but it's like it doesn't matter if you're too big for them to enforce it on you.
Oh, correct. And the unfortunate thing is that Europe has played such a small role in funding the enforcement of these rules that their enforcement has now become irrelevant, and America can just do whatever it wants. Who's going to stop us? Like, honestly, if America decided we're going to seize Gibraltar, who would stop us? The British, who can't even transport 1,000 troops. Did you see that, by the way, with the Victor Davis Hanson podcast?
Well, no,
the British can't even move 1,000 troops to anywhere in the world.
But so this is like what I was getting at, like when we first started the thing is talking about like space exploration. Is like I think like the stuff we're arguing about right this second, it's dumb. Like it's dumb. Like I mean, I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm just saying it's like the fact that we're arguing if we should take Greenland or we should take Gibraltar. It's stupid because there is an entire universe out there where we could just, if we focused on space exploration, every country in the world could launch off in a million different directions, and we could find some planet in some other solar system, and we could take that. We don't need fucking Gibraltar. We could have planet X297 in like the Sirius galaxy.
It depends on the time horizon of it, right? Time horizon makes a big difference.
But it's just like I think that's like we're arguing about stuff we're arguing about stakes that have already been divvied up because like we want more, but there's no more. Like all there is to be had has been had. It's like we need to find the new horizons. We need to find the new frontiers. Until
we see the sheep eating the grass, no one's going to follow, right?
Yeah.
We need to see some value, some massive monetary value from space.
And that's why we need the moon
things
base.
Are going to change. Right now, Gibraltar is vitally important.
Right. As well as saying, like if we can get that moon base done, because everyone's like, oh, the moon base is stupid. It's like, no, the moon base is happening, and it's gonna have a big old American flag over it because we need to show you people that like space is important. Like colonizing space.
That's the thing is like, yes, our immediate concerns are a little bit global, are a little bit earthly. Our next concerns are going to be beyond that, but the Europeans do not see anything beyond the concerns of the global. You know what I mean? Like I saw a post from Dan Tubb of the Lotus Eaters saying that well maybe we should tax any American vessel that goes through Gibraltar. It was like, okay, fine, tax Americans. See how that turns out. Taxing Americans is not a good thing for most Englishmen.
No way. Okay, I did see someone talking about that. Yeah, because a guy made a joke where it's like, you know, it's like newsflash, like Britain is considered like taxing American ships going through Gibraltar, and the guy just it was like Britain sending me a tax bill, me writing on the front of it, Jesus paid it all, and sending it back to them.
Yeah. They have no power. The thing is, Earth is still our most valuable resource. Everything else is utopian until it's actually seized. We have to seize the current resources. Like the Strait of Hormuz has been seized. I didn't even know what that was until 4 weeks ago. But it is vitally important. Same as Malacca. Same as the probably Cape. What's the South African Cape? Do you remember?
The Cape of Good Hope.
Yes, yeah, that Cape. But it's so out of the way that no one wants to use it.
Well, South Africa is just in shambles. Like you could go in, like a bunch of American businessmen could go in there and like through investment and just like like basically doing like corporate raiding. They could remodel South Africa into like a tourist destination by like the end of the decade. Like, that's how like in shambles that country is.
You're gonna have to mow down a lot of Africans' boars.
I don't think so. That's the problem is American businessmen. They know how to get what they want without firing a single shot. Chinese businessmen are just retarded and they think that money buys everything. Because like that thing about China, how they tried to do contract swindle with a bunch of like Africans and it just didn't work because they just didn't agree. Like the
exactly. The Empire of Dust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the Americans know how to balance monetary force and physical force. So what the Americans would do is they just hire the Pinkertons or some
Blackwater or like whatever they're called now.
Some analog of the Pinkertons to clear the area out. And what we'd probably do is hire locals and then just train them, arm them, and then mold them, and then absolutely integrate them, and then have them clear it out. So it looks like one tribe is just dominating, but that tribe is actually being fully neurologically hijacked by the corporation. That's what I would do.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. It's just it's like I said, like you can't just use money or like trying to do uplift. Like you have to get yours. That's the thing is like you can't just do that. Like it's like you have to force outcomes so you get what you want there. But like that's what I'm saying is Americans know how to do that. The Chinese don't. They think they can just but you signed a contract. It's like well we're not going to honor the contract. Fuck you.
The Chinese are going to Belt and Roads it, which in other words is debt slavery.
Yeah, they can't pay it back, and if they try to call them on it, they're just gonna say, "Well, fuck you, we're not gonna abide." And like China's not gonna have any recourse because what are they gonna do? Send an expeditionary force down there to fight them?
Well, that's the big check, and we haven't got there yet. Will China actually enforce the debts it's incurred on these third world countries?
I'm actually one of these people. Like I know a lot of people are like really scared about like what would a war with China look like. I'm not really
paper tiger.
I'm not worried about it at all.
America could absolutely fuck this entire planet in a month. That's the thing. I think Iran is just a training run because that's what we know about. That's what we know about China is like all of their capabilities militarily they're entirely defensive. They're not offensive. So it's like if they did declare war, it's like their navy would like have a iron grip on like the Bohai Peninsula, but like if you broke it, you're in the ground. Once you're on the ground, like you're in and you're fighting and like they're going down fast. And there be so many. I think I'm all right. So based on my experience with the American military tech from 2010, the Americans were very interested in electronic warfare. This is what's called EW, right? That is what we're seeing today. Is like, can you maintain control of your drones while also denying access to the enemy drones? That's what it is. That's what EW is. So, and that was, good Lord, 15 years ago, right? So the thing is I'm seeing is that China is going to be behind the eight ball because not only are there years. So when you're dealing with development, the amount of development depends on your expertise. It's almost like I don't even know what unit to give this. It's just years of development versus another years of development. Their years are like this. American years are like that.
Yeah, and that's someone described
they are so far behind the eight ball.
all they can do is look at what we're doing, use corporate espionage, and steal it, and then make a worse version of it.
And they'll steal it in some incomplete and incompetent way.
Exactly.
Stealing 90% of something is stealing nothing.
Well, it's like someone like described it as like America's like, hey, look at this really beautiful painting that I made, and Chad's like, oh, well, that painting might be beautiful, but the joke's on you because I took a picture of it on my phone, and they made this really grainy facsimile of it. How's that? It's like, well, you haven't done anything, so it's just like all they do is steal from us and then do it worse.
Yeah, the communists are always second best. Because all they can do is steal. I mean, look at the space shuttle the Russians designed in the Soviet Union.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was just theft. All they could do is lie about their specs and then try and steal technology. That's all they do. So the Chinese and the Russians are both a paper tiger. The whole BRICS concept is based on nations that are low trust. They're not going to make it. They're not going to make it at all because they're so low trust.
The entire bar for entrance into BRICS is, well, I hate all of you, but I hate America marginally more. So let's get into an economic coalition, I guess. Even though it's not going to work.
Who's going to trust, like for the BRICS currency? Who's going to trust who to hold the gold? No one.
It's not even gold. It's they tried to have an oil coalition to counter the petrodollar, but the problem is we took out Venezuela and Iran. They have no counter to the petrodollar.
That's what I'm saying. Is like a lot of Dan Tubb and Morgoth from England or the UK. You know those guys, right?
Yeah, I know who Morgoth is.
They're talking about the end of the petrodollar. It's like, no, you guys are fucking retarded because the petrodollar is enforced by our military. It's enforced by our ability to seize the logistical means of production for oil. That's what it is. Well, okay. So you guys think the petrodollar is going to end because of BRICS, an extremely untrustworthy and extremely weak militarily alliance? Are you retarded?
Well, it's also BRICS isn't going to work out because the petrodollar, even if we didn't get it militarily from overseas means, we've got so much oil in America. Texas is lousy with it. If we could just get domestic drilling back up.
More than the Middle East.
Yeah, it's Texas turned itself within one generation from a dusty backwater that nobody wanted into one of the richest economic segments of the United States within one generation because of how much oil we have. Spindletop Dome made this state a economic superpower for the entire country at the time in which it was discovered. Okay, the Middle East has a lot of it, and they have this weird socialist oil cartel. Good for them. But guess what? Iran's already out of the picture. Saudi Arabia doesn't want to cooperate. I think Iraq said they want to go their own way. So OPEC is about to fall the fuck apart. And so they're not going to have a stranglehold.
They're all traitorous dogs. They're all jackals. They're all jackals waiting for the blood of each other. Right?
Yeah,
they all want each other to fall apart.
To me, that was always the greatest sin of Jimmy Carter was blinking in the face of OPEC back in the 70s and letting an energy crisis ensue. Because that's
tolerating a Muslim force. Interesting.
Well, I mean, it's not even tolerance. It's just he didn't trust America to go toe to toe with them in oil production. It's well, they have more than us, and they're together and we're not. It's what do you mean we're not? It's a driving part of this economy, and that's a whole other conversation for a different episode. Just the turning point between Carter and Reagan, just how many just piece of shit corporations.
Yeah, Carter is an absolute moron.
Well, it's just yes, but also it's the corporations be yeah, we're just going to offshore literally everything. Yeah, we're going to offshore cars. We're going to offshore textiles. We're going to offshore oil production. They just didn't fucking care. They just offshored everything, and it ruined.
It's amazing that these very sentimental Democrats tend to just bow down to the almighty GDP or whatever the balance sheet says is good. They don't. This very soulful left doesn't seem to see the value, and it's weird that the leftists do not see the value in the labor of the people. They just want whatever's cheaper. So it's okay, let's offshore all of our steel production. No problem. I'm a Democrat. I don't care. It's like, but it's this weird, cold-hearted Republican who will say, like, no, we need to onshore stuff. We need to fight the headwinds of the globo homo economic policy, right? It's like, no, we need to produce food, steel in America, and fertilizer in America. It's like, that's what I'm saying, is like, people who try and proclaim to root for the local American tend to be the most anti-American. I don't trust them. It's the Russian conflict in Ukraine has been one of the biggest revealers of the whole fertilizer crisis, right? Because Ukraine produced a lot of Europe's fertilizer. Unfortunately, Europe has to be the guinea pig. I don't even know what to call it. Like the sort of lesson learned. I don't know. The canary in the coal mine, I think, is the best analogy I can make for it. Europe has unfortunately had to serve the purpose of being the canary in the coal mine to rouse Americans to the realization that our energy, our fertilizer, even our financial system needs to become more local and needs to not be so dependent on large logistical networks. You know, like COVID was a massive warning to a lot of us about how frail our networks are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was it not?
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, what is it? It was, I mean, just shutting down even like very basic manufacturing for stuff that we still do produce domestically. Like even shutting it down for like a little bit, like caused a bunch of problems. And it's like, could you imagine how much better off we would have been if there was more domestic production to like better like have a surplus in this time? But it's not. Like that's the problem. It's like half our shit comes from China nowadays. So it's
it's becoming less and less the case now. Thank God.
Yeah, but I mean, even if we don't do it in China, it's like it doesn't matter if we're doing it in China or Vietnam or Bangladesh or whatever. It's whenever it's whenever it's elsewhere, we always run the risk that there's going to be some kind of problem, and economics will take us pretty far, but it's not going to it's not going to protect us from everything. Like if India got like pissed off enough with us to like start a war, which I mean, highly unlikely, but it's like that had like what's going to happen to all of our shit that we get from China, like clothes and shoes and shit. Like it's going to go away. It's like we're going to have to like bring back American textiles. And I try to buy like handmade, like direct made goods over sweatshop goods whenever I can. But it's like it's so difficult because like a lot of brands, they try to obfuscate it. Like they try to hide it somehow. And you can they just make it that much harder to like discern. But it's like I'll pay, if you want me to pay you $100 for a pair of blue jeans that's made in America, I'll pay $100 just as long as you can, on the back end, you can promise me that pair of blue jeans is going to last and it's not going to fall apart within, 6 months of me just like walking around town in them. Like, like I do with like shitty Levi's that are made in Vietnam or whatever.
Right.
That's my thing. Is like, I'll pay top dollar, but I want top dollar quality.
Well, it's probably a lot of the global economy is from swindling Americans.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's actually the truth. A lot of the global economy is from swindling Americans, and you can see this from the rate at which I want to call them senior Americans. That'd be the polite way of saying it. Are swindled by like Indian scammers.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And the thing is, it's only going to get worse. I feel like I'm going to get off topic here. I feel like a lot of quality of the internet is going to become from segregation versus opening. There's a certain boom period which opening the internet was great. Well, we're starting to see like diminishing returns from that. Now, segregation, the closing of the internet down to certain groups, like you're saying, the auto translate. Yeah. We have to have a Western internet. I get 2 recruiting emails a day from Indians who suggest to me jobs that I would never take. Ever. Like, these are barely entry level jobs, garbage jobs, but they just spam the internet.
There's another problem with the offshoring of jobs, and that specifically comes from financial means. There's a huge financial danger because all of the major banks and all of the major credit card companies, they offshore their call centers out to India.
Yeah.
If you've ever had a problem with your credit card, if you've ever had a problem with your bank account, you're yes, hello, sir. My name is Nicholas, and I am talking with you today. It's like, okay, sir, I can fix that for you. Can you please be giving me your social security number? And it's like, yeah, this guy works for Citibank, but what happens when, like, we, again, hypothetically, what if we went to war with India and like all of those Citibank, call centers are raided by the Indian government, and now they've got your social security number, they've got your bank account, they've got it's like that's a huge danger. It's like the idea that like banks can offshore a person's bank, my credit cards are my credit cards. That's whatever. Credit cards are, that's fake made up money. They can only affect your credit score. But my actual bank, my real bank that handles my real money, that is a local non-chain bank that's in the same town that I grew up in Texas. And people ask, like, oh, why do you want to drive like an hour away to go to your bank? It's like, because I know that I can trust that bank.
Yeah. But it would have been an hour horse ride to your bank back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. It's like those people have never done me a wrong turn. They gave me a personal loan one time when I needed a car, and I paid it back, and they treated me like when I had hard times, and I asked.
By the way, it'd be very funny if this divorce actually ruined me to the point where I have to sell my land. I hope to God that's not true, because I love my land. It's the anvil upon which the hammer of God works upon me, the iron. But if I had to, it'd be funny if I had to go to Texas. It'd be really funny if I could just end up as a neighbor, like just not too far from me. Because Texas was my second choice. I don't want to go to Florida at all.
I don't know anything about Florida. I just don't like humidity, and I hear that Florida. Shit.
I live in Daytona Beach, and it's very debaucherous. And I've heard really bad stuff on the west coast of Florida too. But anyways, for me in Texas is good because it's almost a Mexican climate, where you can grow probably the greenhouse. You could probably grow some pretty good stuff.
If you got close to like the Rio Grande Valley, you can grow just about anything because it's like more temperate. But like if you're in like the heartland or like North Texas, like the winters are just too unpredictable.
There's a funny song right now that's really popular. That's I forget who it's by. It's called like She's from Texas, I Can Tell.
Ella Langley.
Yeah. It's really good. I like that. I'm writing a parody of it where it's called He Wants Breakfast, I Can Tell.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen the meme where it's like they'll like Photoshop like all these like musicians to where they're fat, and then like they just change their lyrics to be about food?
Yeah. I've not seen that.
It's great. Yeah, I'll send you a post.
Like he wants breakfast, I can tell by the way he's putting syrup on his plate. I can tell.
Well, let me find one of them. There was one of them that I saw earlier that was really
so
good.
Funny. So stupid.
Oh yeah. So they did one where it's the lead singer of Creed is just like really fast, like with mouth wide open.
Okay.
Take a huge bite. They just change all the lyrics to be about food.
I've seen some of those. Yeah, I've seen the Metallica and the Rob Zombie one.
That's a good. Yeah, there was one where it was Blink-182. It's just like, just say it ain't so. The buffet is closed. Take my belt off. Carry me home. Oh god, yeah, I love that meme. Just like the fat musician. The photoshopping to be like people to be fat and then just making food jokes. Like I don't know why. That's just so funny.
I mean, it's been funny since Eat It.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it's like that. It's like I mean, also like the fat Vance memes are pretty funny. Yeah,
my god.
Yeah, him fat with like the perm is just like that's great.
Yeah, the Viking techno Viking thing.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that one. That one was great.
Like, what are we doing? What are we even doing?
Well, he's a good sport. He's a good sport about it. He witnessed that for like
I think
Halloween.
he just pretends not to notice. I think if he noticed that, it would be bad.
Well, no, he noticed it because that's what he did for Halloween. Is he?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, yep.
He didn't like dress up as Fab. He wore like the wig or whatever. It's just like, remember to say please and thank you. It's just, so he knows about it. But that's why I think that ultimately the best coalition going forward is probably going to be some combination of JD Vance and Marco Rubio, just because they're the two most palatable.
Well, Marco has already said he's going to submit to a JD Vance presidency. He's already said I'm going to be. He's already mitigated any sort of debate of who's going to be who.
Yeah, I think JD he's definitely been flexing he's definitely been like flexing his statesman skills over the last.
He's so good. He's so good. Yeah,
I want to see him like get a chance to be a let me see what he would be like as president, where he's allowed to get tough on stuff, because I think he'd be good at it. I think he would.
I think he's gonna work Vance during the presidency. If let's say Vance does get it, and I think he will. Mm-hmm. By the way, if we have some, I don't know what the age is. Let me look at this up. SCOTUS ages.
They're all pretty old.
Yeah, is anybody up for it? Clarence Thomas, that's a defensive move.
Clarence Thomas.
He's 77.
He's got to be pretty old.
All right, so Thomas and Alito are both, oh, good Lord, next 77, 76, and 71.
Yeah, they might hang in there for a little bit longer.
They're all from G.W. Bush.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Oh, no, was it Thomas was H.W.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Sotomayor, 71. Man, I don't know when these people die out.
I mean, shoot. The last one was Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and she was like, what, like 80 something, like almost close to 90.
People got some time. Yeah, so it might not be relevant.
No, she was like in her 70s, I guess, because 33 to 2020. So, or no, that's not right. That's
old as fuck.
Why is my math bad?
So old.
80s. Okay, 87. So yeah, she was really old. But I mean, before her, it was Scalia, and Scalia didn't die of old age. He just had like a heart attack or something and died.
I can relate.
How did Anthony?
Good God. Yeah. All right. So we got a while. Like the next ones who are gonna. All right. So the next 4, next 3. The next 3 out of 4 are defensive moves. 77, 76, 71. Good God. You still with me?
Yeah, no, I'm still here.
Yeah, so a next administration is probably not vital.
Well, okay, so this is let me run something past you, because this is something that I have postured, that I don't think that a president should be allowed to like take someone off the Supreme Court unless they were the one who appointed them. How do you feel about that? You think that's fair?
Not really, but
well, it's just because like I think that like I feel like Amy Coney Barrett was appointed by Trump in his first term, but I feel like she is not really like she doesn't really dispense like judgments the right way, like that's actually like legitimate.
I don't trust women in politics.
Well, I mean, that's a good point, but it's like, I mean, like, it's like, let's say, Trump appoints someone. I don't think it should be allowed for like Biden to remove them, but it's like, I think Trump should be allowed to like remove someone that he appointed if he feels like they're not doing a good job.
The thing is, he appointed them, right? So he has to be beholden to the law now. It's not himself. He does.
That's a good point.
Does he get a special access to the law just because he was involved in the initiation of the legal move? I don't think so. But I also think that women make bad politicians because they get too in their feelings about it. I feel like Thomas would judge based on the principle until his last dying breath. He wouldn't give a shit. Mm-hmm. Whereas like Hurdy words would make Amy Coney Barrett falter. And I don't want that. That's the opposite of what I want. I want the judges to live in a weird bubble where they have the law, they have Jesus, they have some grass, and that's it. So I don't want them to have access to the internet. They shouldn't know anything about what's happening. They should just have the scripture of the Lord and have the law. And
have you ever seen a British show called In the Thick of It?
No, I have not. Actually,
it's really funny. The basic premise is about this guy who's he's like the PR like manager / like hatchet man for like this member of parliament, and he's like always trying to take care of like the blunders she gets herself into. But there's a joke where like she buys a new house during like an economic crisis in England, and people are like mad at her for like spending money, and she's like, it's not even a big house. I don't understand why they're so mad. And the PR guy is just like, he's like, Nicola, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're a politician. The people would rather you not have any house. They would rather you just live in a cave and eat straw. And I was like, yeah, he's right. I do think that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, that's how it goes, right? Like politicians don't care about people and people don't care about politicians. That's how it goes. Unfortunately. Well, I think it's true of the UK and Europe, but we have this weird sentimental connection between our arch politicians and our populace. It's actually kind of one of the things that I think binds populism and elitism here in America to make them whole. Because I think without each other, they're not really that worthwhile. But the American populace tends to stick to Trump. There's a certain loyalty to it. So a subject for another time, maybe, because we got to wrap up. I gotta get this night sorted out. Mm-hmm. That America has solved the democracy problem that Europe has not yet. Another thing that I want to state is that Europe is in this weird wilderness, whereas America is strangely in somewhat semi-charted territory, which is why a lot of Europeans want to return to some pre-liberal, paganistic society. It's very gay. Honestly, it's very shitty.
Well, it is, and you can't, because there's nothing backing those institutions up anymore. Back in the old days, there was something that would give them like pause to like do the right thing. Usually it was they were like a representative like Christendom or something like that. For like the monarchs, but it's like we don't have anything like that anymore. They're like all of these like old timey traditions. They wouldn't have anything to stand on, so they're worthless.
And it's funny because if you look at England, their first king was a Christian. There was no pagan king. It was always Christ. Before that, it was just bog people. I don't even know what to describe it as. Disorganized. Without Christianity, there's nothing there. Mm-hmm. So either they embrace the Catholic Church or they embrace the Americanism of Protestantism. Pick one. I don't give a shit whichever one they pick. It's like, pick one. Don't yearn for some past that never actually held muster. Like
that's the thing. It's just like they don't want, like it's just like it's Europeans it's hard for you to like try to like invoke feelings of like religiosity onto them because they think they're so smart. They've like evolved.
Right, they're above. They're so sovereign. They're above anything.
Well, we know better. We're forward thinkers, and like you Americans that are still tied to your stupid religion. It's like, well,
your guns and your Walmarts and your
it's like, we don't need your hokey religion. We have our science and our culture and our futurism.
Well, there's an interesting point from I think Twitter that brought it up. I have to remember if it was Conrad or Cynical Publius. It said that like a lot of the European culture is borrowed from this post-war American subsidized lifestyle, which allowed them to become atheistic, highly ideological. I mean, what they are now, like what a Europe is right now, is a purely an American construct, not by design, but by the result of the fact that we just defended them and subsidized them, and they just became the rot. They became the worst of themselves. Well, and I don't know if it's actually redeemable. Like I don't know if they can ever come out on top.
They like gutted and liberalized themselves in like the 80s, and it just like after that it's just like, I'm sorry, like, you know, like I have a lot of respect for historical British culture, which I know, you know, it's kind of odd coming from a guy who's like of Irish descendants, but it's like I appreciate the culture, you know, like the Victorian British culture and like the pre-World War II British culture, and even like some of like the stuff from like the 50s and 60s. Like I appreciate it, and I think it's interesting, but it's like they didn't appreciate it. They didn't appreciate their own culture, and they sold it off in exchange for nothing.
This is why I love it when other cultures try and do a very heartfelt and fully spirited parody of our culture, like that A&W restaurant in Japan. Like I love that, because honestly, like our antipodal partners can do a better job of preserving our own culture than we do ourselves, because we take so much for granted of what we are. And like unfortunately the I don't have a video on this yet, but there's a concept I have called anti-culture, where a lot of Europe has just become an anti-culture of America, where it's like they've built themselves around America's evil, America is bad. And the problem is when you do that, it doesn't create a positive culture on your side. You actually sell yourselves out. It's like you've replaced productive tissue of your own body with non-productive tissue that is a facsimile. Well, the anti-culture actually sublimates and destroys your own. So by being anti-American, you're actually anti-yourself. And especially the UK, Europe, but especially the UK has lost itself by being anti-American.
I would say the biggest offender of that more than anybody else is Canada. Canada has made their entire cultural identity is just, well, at least we're not America. And it's like, yeah, that's a bad thing. Their chief. It's like you should be more like us. Like it's kind of pathetic that you pride yourself on not being like us.
It's so pathetic. They're willing to murder their own people to save money on their stupid healthcare program. It's America. This is the crazy thing about the morality of the modern world. America is willing to lose $300 million worth of military equipment to save one pilot. But Canada is willing to exterminate a very significant amount of their population to save money on their health care. That's why I'm like, I don't want Canadian or English health care. Keep it. I don't want it because it just makes you want to kill us. It makes you want to kill me. I am a bag of organs to you.
I think I hung up the phone on British like cultural interaction after that whole pilot thing, honestly, because the reaction to it was, you know, when that happened and we saved that guy, Japan said, you know, back in World War II, I heard stories that Americans would do stuff like this all the time. I guess they've never lost it. That's why they're truly the greatest, because they view every American as completely indispensable, and they'll sacrifice everything to save one man.
All heart, no brains. That's what America is.
The Brits were like, well, I say, militarily, that was not very smart.
It's not very strategic. Think of the. Yes, exactly.
They try to do this like military-esque bluster, like they're channeling the ghost of Churchill, as if Churchill wouldn't have tried to organize some kind of rescue effort for a guy like that back in his day. It's like I say, it's most unorthodox.
Pathetic.
Yes, it's like, I'm sorry, dog. If you
rape people, We do it.
They are. They're the raped. Yeah.
We do it. We do it because it is right. Because we are Americans, and by God, we are retarded. We're going to fight retarded. If you're retarded, then do it retarded. America is going to fight. We're going to fight. We're going to fight stupid. If there's one airman behind enemy lines, either he blows himself up in some like courageous, amazing sacrifice, or we blow ourselves up trying to get him out of there. We don't leave a dude behind. Fuck that. Honestly, it's Americans' policy is just basically fuck you, fuck me, to fuck you. I'm going to fuck me to fuck you. That's what we do. America fucked itself to fuck you. It's all about conservation of fucks. We don't make good decisions. We're just retarded.
You might ask the Americans, how many times are you going to do retarded stuff like this? And the answer is as many times as it takes.
Yeah. Oh, who's retarded now? Yeah.
Yeah, was it? We got a pilot back, and the Iranians just got a pair of his boxer shorts.
That's so awesome. You dumb cocksucker.
That's actually really funny because, like, do you know what happened after that picture of the Iranians holding up his boxers?
What happened?
American Eagle sold out of their entire.
Oh yeah, I saw that
same pair of boxers.
Fuck yes. We're gonna monetize. You guys are gonna pose with our underpants as if it's like remnants of the Roswell crash, and then we're gonna sell out of them. We're gonna monetize your dumb fucking Neanderthal asses posing with our underpants.
Yeah.
You can't get an American pie. I hope to God. Oh my gosh. That's what our enemies are reduced to. Like selfies with our underpants. And then helping us sell out of them. We're so stupid. There's a Michael Knowles post that was about some like loafers with American flags on them. Those sold out. Yeah. Everything American flag is selling out.
Well, that's like that for a while during like the whole America-Japanese Twitter merge. That was like half of what I was seeing is like the Japanese were like, "Hey Americans, I drew this anime girl wearing a American flag bikini. Isn't that cool?"
We just love it.
That is cool. That is the coolest.
Rad shit. We love it. We don't have. We are not gatekeepers, really. As long as you're just paying homage to the flag, America, God, hell yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to close this thing by saying that we didn't really get into the exploration part of this as much as we could have. We got into the American patriotism part.
That's okay. We needed it.
Yes. Yeah, I think right now there's so many motherfuckers out there that think that America sucks. Fuck you. If you think America sucks, go fuck yourself. America's awesome.
I co-sign that.
We blockaded your blockade. Listen, brother, we saw your blockade. We put a blockade in your blockade.
Trump closed your strait just to open it again the next day.
Yeah, it's closed. It's open. It's closed. It's open. Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, fuck you.
That was still the funny. I think one of the funniest memes was the day after he said it's closed permanently. It's like, okay, it's open. Like someone made the Photoshop where it's Trump giving a medal to Trump.
Lick my balls. Fuck you. You tried to make a toll booth out of it. You didn't get shit.
It's our toll booth now. It's our toll booth now.
We don't pay the dang guild. We don't pay the hostage money. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We're just crazy like that. We are the terrorists. Fuck you. Are you
just call back to the George W. Bush? Like, we're gonna get those terrorists. Now watch this drive.
Yeah, exactly. Just pop. We don't give a rat's ass. Honestly, America could have always done this.
I mean, we used to do it all the time, and then the fucking hippies started acting up during Vietnam, and we kind of forgot how to do it for a little while.
Oh yeah, it's the yeah, it's a crisis of the modernity where people don't want to. People think that strength is not the best route to peace. Put it that way.
I mean, it's also just like, I mean, even like leaving that aside, it's just like stop. We need to stop like caring so much about what people who aren't in the military care about our military actions. I mean, was it fucking Cronkite during Vietnam said he thought the war was unwinnable, and that like
Yeah,
ruined the public perception of the war for a lot of
fucking
people.
Tommy
And
bullshit.
he said years later, he's like, I kind of wish I hadn't said that, honestly.
Yeah, I
it's
kind
like-
of wish I hadn't. I kind of. Fuck you, Cronkite, you bitch.
Yeah.
I'll be getting
Yeah,
raped
maybe
in hell.
maybe you should have considered that in the moment before you said it, but whatever. Here we
Yeah,
are.
I mean, instead of like parroting Soviet propaganda, maybe you should just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson, take note. The thing is, we're not fools. Can't fool us a second time. So a lot of right-wing thinkers and speakers are getting absolutely roasted right now. It's by design. That's how it is.
I feel like we're going back to like 2004 like patriotism, because that's another great W talking point. Is like
I put a boot in their
foolish,
ass in the American way.
fool us once, shame on us. Fool us twice, well, we don't get fooled again.
Yeah, it's so silly.
Oh, W was great. He was great with the zingers.
The funny thing is that Trump is just George W. Bush without any sense of shame and doesn't give a fuck.
Well, W did it on accident. Trump does it on purpose.
Yeah. Like Trump will just say like our stock prices matter more than anything else. That is like, yeah, our stocks are doing great now.
Well, I like that.
Oil prices are low.
I like how he just fucks with people. And I think it's funny because it's like President Trump, like midterms are coming up, and oil prices are still high. Like, what do you think? It was like, well, the prices they should go down or they might go up. And then he didn't say anything else. He just walked away from the statement.
It's like, I don't know. Fuck it. Whatever.
He just fucks with people. He said that the day before he announced victory or whatever. So it's like he knew they were gonna go down, but he loves yo-yoing people.
I mean, well, the thing is, he's really good at monopolizing the opposition by just giving them what they want, right?
Yeah, people want something to complain about. So if they can complain about them, they will be distracted and they won't do much of anything else.
And he knows how to monetize negativity from the enemy. Something to learn about. Something that's very important. All right. Well,
anyway, that's a good place to sign off on.
Yeah, I've had enough to drink. I think America's in a great place. We'll see how it goes. I do love the fact that we are constantly in conflict. We'll see who the best man is, who wins.
Yep. All I can really sign off with is I love my God and I love my country and I love my friends and what else can you say?
What else can you say, man? Like,
yeah,
hell, fucking yeah, brother. Listen, we have more in common than we have different. I don't give a rat's fuck. If you love America and you submit to Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, that's all you need, brother.
We're all good.
That's all you need. You can be as retarded as you want. After that,
that's your right as an American.
He's right. You goddamn right. Yep. Oh my God. All right,
everybody.
Have a good night. Fuck off in your own individual ways.
Fuck off. Positive connotation.
I love you all, and fuck you, and good night. Bye bye. I'm gonna go to get to Taco Bell, but now I'm gonna talk to you after the show for a second.
All right, man.
Yeah. All right, end stream. It's gonna take some indeterminate